Oh, wait, I gotta hit the microphone. Good morning, everybody. I hope you're all doing well this morning. It's Peter. As you can see, Carlos is still on vacation. He's got one more week, and he is out having some fun this week. So we wish him some good times. You may notice here, I seem to be sidekickless this morning. So looks like it may be just me. So. Yeah, we'll see what happens. I might get somebody to join us, but don't worry, I've got all of you guys. We're going to keep each other company as we look at this market. Because look, Friday. Well, guys, we all know by now, I guess. Even if you weren't trading Friday, hopefully you know what happened Friday. And let me just bring up the chart just to remind you, in case you'd fallen asleep or weren't paying attention. Friday we had the Jackson Hole. Rate, well, it wasn't really a rate announcement. It was really just the symposium results out of Wyoming. Look at that bump that the market got. So we jumped up, held that level, and looks like now as we look at where we're going, really we are sitting at sort of, once again, back at these all-time high levels in the market. So this morning, while we're down a little bit, so we might not actually. Well, you know what? I don't know. I was going to say we might not actually get over the all-time highs, but we're up close enough that it's within very easy reach. So we could very well be at new all-time highs today. That when the marketing bell, when the opening bell rings. I've seen it so many times, right, where you start the morning down a little bit and then bam, like we are green and running. So we'll have to see where the money goes and whether we achieve the all-time highs. Let's take a look at what's happening on the economic calendar. We do have only a couple things, really only one thing on the economic calendar. You know what? I forgot to go back and take a look. I don't know what happened to this morning. This morning went so fast. But anyways, we had... building permits that came out a little bit earlier came up pretty much on target. The actual number is 1,362,000. As you can see, the number was 1.354. So that's pretty close. 10 a.m. we do have new home sales that are coming out. That I don't really expect to give all that much market movement. So really pretty quiet day from an economic calendar overall. I really don't think that that is going to impact the market. We do have a couple things on our gappers list. If you take a look at our gappers list, we've got a few things gapping up, a few things gapping down, and we're going to talk about those and see where they're at. So I may be a little slower today because not only do I have to put things up on the screen so y'all can see it, I got to find the news myself and figure out what's going on. So I could have a conversation with myself and ask me. I'm gonna have to ask myself what's happening here, and we'll see how well I answer. Anyways, all right. I'll try not to make it too weird. Okay, guys, let's take a look at this list. At the top of it, we've got STSS, and STSS is the first one I see on our list. Let's take a look at. I'm going to take a look at some 5-minute charts, and the price action doesn't look bad. 7.6 million shares traded this morning, and the price action actually looks pretty good. We can see that we're gapping up here about 46%. This is a company I don't know that I've seen before. Sharps Technology. Doesn't sound familiar to me. They are a low float. This has only got 1 million shares in the float. So it's going to be trading a little wild. And as you can see, that gap really happened early this morning, popped up. We sold off a little bit since then. And oh my goodness, it is some of the same news we see all the time. So Sharps Technology, which is a medical equipment company, are they doing medical equipment? No. What are they doing? They've got $400 million of private money so that they can establish a Solana digital asset treasury strategy. Like what? So many of these companies just refuse to do what their core business is. Instead, they decide to invest in these treasury strategies. Again, at a certain point, I really don't understand why are people with all this money giving them to random companies. Like, I mean, I don't know. They could have excellent management at Sharps Technology, but it feels a little random. Why give them 400 million to create a treasury strategy, and why not do it yourself? Seems to me the overhead and management costs of doing so would be higher than if you just invested the money on your own, or even just hired a small team to do it. I don't. I don't know. These treasuries feels like, and actually, Dave, like you're saying in the chat room, remember, guys, when we had these NFT strategies and these companies were investing in NFTs, and that all blew up on everybody, right? They're worthless. Now, these are not going to be worthless, but I just, are they going to continue to appreciate? It's a risk. So I don't know. I mean, look, money. As long as money keeps pouring into it, this is actually going to be a good strategy. So if you were one of the early adopters, and it's tough to tell right now, right? Are we still early in the game? Are we midpoint? Is this late in the game? Like, you never know with these fads, but it does feel like a fad to set up these treasury strategies. And a treasury strategy is just a fancy way of saying that they're accumulating crypto, right? In whatever their chosen crypto, because it looks like so far Bitcoin was the first one. Solana and Ethereum seem to be the two popular ones right now. This Sharps Technology is accumulating Solana. So hey, look, it's going to be what it's going to be. But if these so far, from all the ones that we've watched, really don't trade well, because once they announce it, the stock tends to pop. Then it gets tied to the underlying asset. And you know what? I haven't even looked at what crypto has done over the weekend. I'm going to take a look here and see what crypto prices have done. And as we can see, crypto right now, Solana is actually up a little bit here this morning. Over the weekend, it actually did climb, and it went up from $180 to almost $210. So, so it's a good morning for Solana. So yeah, in the short term, it looks like that's working well. All right, what next do we have? Let's rearrange the letters here, and we get ASST is the next thing that we have on our target list, and this I do believe I've seen before. This is asset entities, 9 million shares traded, and it's hard to borrow, which means you can only trade it to the long side so far this morning, it's I don't know. It doesn't look that bad. It looks okay. Please tell me they don't have a treasury strategy. Oh, no. Hold on a sec. What's their news? No, this is a merger news. Okay. It looks like they have declared an effective merger application to merge Asset Entities and Strive Enterprises. The SEC is apparently signed off on this, saying that they're allowed to do it. So it looks like they are going to merge with this company called Strive. Why? I don't really know why. I guess it's going to... Oh, no. And will become... Oh, my God. See, guys, I had hope for a moment. And then I read the article more. I had hope they were going to do something important. But the merger... The new company is going to be called Strive Inc. and will continue to trade under the ticker symbol ASST and will become a public Bitcoin treasury company. Ugh. Yeah. All right. I had hope for a moment. There was real business going on. I don't mean to be down on Bitcoin. Buy Bitcoin. Hold it in your portfolio if you want. I'm staying away from it. And I may be missing out, but that's okay. I'm willing to do that. But if you're a company that's supposed to be doing something else, I don't get it. All right. Anyways. Okay. Let's take a look at a company we have looked at in the past. Open Door Technologies. This has been on our list in the past. It's really had a great sort of rise here, as it was a 40-cent stock, 40 or 50-cent stock for a long period of time, and now it's all the way up. I mean, all the way up at $5. So I mean that's a big rise from where it was, but it's still not really the type of stock that normally I would take a look at. Massive volume this morning. 38 million shares have been traded on this thing. But it's not a low float, so it's got a good float. Let's see. Why are they jumping up this morning? Well, Because of the Fed rate cut, of course. So Open Door Technologies would be a direct beneficiary of lower interest rates, right? Because they are more people might buy houses, which would support their business model. So if more people, jump in and buy some houses, then Open is anticipated to go up. Now, this is all anticipation of rate cuts, right? So Powell on Friday at the Jackson Hole sort of summary implied that he and the Fed are more interested in looking at rate cuts should economic conditions continue to trend in a way that favors a cut. Notice there's a lot of tentative wording in that, right? So the next Fed rate cut is scheduled for the 17th of September, which is, 2.5, 3 weeks away. So a lot can happen between now and then. The Fed has not said definitively that they're going to cut rates. They haven't said that they're not. But, when I was looking on Friday, of course, more people were starting to think that a rate cut is likely. Let's see where we're sitting at today. If we look at today, that sentiment seems to continue here. Let's put it on the screen so you guys can see it. Looks like if we look at all of the analyst reports, the current rate is expected to be cut by about a quarter basis point by 83.3% of the analysts. So right now, overwhelming opinion is that there will be a rate cut. Only 16.7 think that there will be no rate cut. Again, that can change. That sentiment can go up and down. A month ago, it was only 60% that thought there was going to be a rate cut. So, this can change. So, don't go banking on anything too much. But Open this morning is actually jumping up on the anticipation that rate cut is going to happen. So, if it does, Open will be positioned for it. It's hard for me to tell what's going to happen with this thing and whether it's likely to give us a trading opportunity. If I look at Friday, like most of the market, Open had a good move higher. And in fact, it actually continued to climb throughout the rest of the day. So not a bad move going from 350, where it sort of was at the open, pun sort of intended, up to $5 by the close of the day. So, look, this thing might have the opportunity to move. It certainly has the volume. And that volume was big on Friday. So what did it finally hit? And that is 657 million shares traded over the course of the day. So that is a ton of volume. Open actually is a possibility. Enough so that, maybe despite the low price, I'm going to put it on my secondary list. We'll just see if it does anything interesting. I got to eliminate the space there. There we go. All right. Oh, and I got to show you my list. Let's bring that Gappers list in here. It's the first thing I put on my secondary list. On my primary list, of course, I have my usuals, which always sit there. All right. The last thing I've got on the Gap Up list here is a Chinese stock we used to love to look at in BABA, BA. And we were seeing over the weekend a rise on some of the Chinese stocks as there's increasing bullish statements coming out of the Chinese economy, which is sort of defying expectations. The Chinese economy is expected to continue to have problems in its expansion. However, you know what? It's hard to tell right now. Is this real, right? Is the Chinese economy really growing? Or is the Chinese government telling us that the economy is growing? I honestly don't know which is the truth, which is happening. But at the moment, we are seeing, we're getting tales of growth in the Chinese economy, and some of the Chinese stocks are going. Now, that being said, they have generally achieved earnings, and we'll talk about that because there was another one that was on my list that dropped off here that had earnings this morning that, look, I can only believe their number. Because I've got no reason to doubt it. But PDD was the one I was looking at. Pinduoduo. I think they're actually just called PDD nowadays. Aren't they? I think they changed their name. Anyways, Pinduoduo. Or maybe that was Bilibili that changed their name. But Pinduoduo, you look at this crazy chart. Look how it popped up when the earnings were released. So they were expected to earn 14.3 billion. They did 14.5. They're expected to deliver $1.9 $1.91 in earnings per share, and they actually delivered $3.08. So that's actually a good result for Pinduoduo, and but the joy was short lived on this. As you can see, it sort of went up and then has started to sell off, and that's why I say allegedly, because it feels like that there's some doubt as to either how real or how sustainable these numbers are when you see sort of a result like this. I don't know. I mean, the Pinduoduo, their parent company is Team Temu, or maybe PDD is the parent company of Temu, but they're the ones that advertise to me all the time. Like, in fact, I'm sure here on the website I'm using to look, there's an ad from Temu selling me stuff I don't need and don't want. But anyways, there is Baba's earnings haven't come out, which is where I started on this. So we're gonna have to see. It's very interesting to me that while well, we're not really seeing a lot of growth on the global economy, are we? The U.S. market is strong, the economy isn't strong, but the Chinese economy is claiming growth. And again, as you can tell, I'm just a little skeptical. I mean, I've got no reason to say that it's not happening. We've just seen a history, right? It hasn't always panned out the way the messages come when or the data comes out from the government sources. So we'll see. In any event, that's it for the gap up list. If I look at my Magnificent Seven stocks, they're all pretty much gapping down. The only thing that I see gapping up this morning is actually Google, which is up just a little bit. It was actually red earlier this morning, but pretty much everything else is red, right? All my semiconductor stocks and Nvidia, you can see here gapping down. AMD also down. My good buddy Tesla gapping lower this morning. So despite the fact that we had a very positive Friday and things were looking good, we are marginally down this morning. But I've seen this before, right? As I told you off the top, you got to be careful when you get these mornings where everything's gapping down. Don't make an assumption that means the market's going to continue going lower. It could very well go higher. So, yeah, let's be careful with it and see what we get. God, guys, I keep looking at my own shirt in the screen here. And I think I made a mistake. You know what they say on TV? If you go on TV, you're not supposed to wear stripes because it screws up the camera. Is it like psychedelic? Is it causing you guys like the more, yes, effect? Anyways, it's a great shirt. It doesn't work well on the camera, I don't think. It's yeah, it messes things up. All right, I'm gonna keep you guys psychedelic there. Woo. In any event, all right. Because it's funny when I get the lower quality, in some areas I've got lower quality graphics, and when that happens, like it looks all funky. So, anyways, today is that me? Is that Ernie? Although my head is shaped more like Bert's than Ernie's. So there you go. Okay, Cosplay, the jersey behind me. Where is it? Right there. That's a Tour de France jersey from 2005. It's actually one that was worn by Carlos Sastre when he crossed the finish line at the Champs-Élysées in Paris. So I used to work for CSC, Computer Sciences Corporation, which, as you can see, was a title sponsor. And actually, hey, since you're asking, you give me a chance to show off for a second. Hold on a second. Thing. It's stuck. All right. I can't get it off. I've got on the back, taped on the back there, a picture. Thank goodness I wore pants, eh? Taped on the back, I've got a picture of Carlos Sastre presenting it to me as the senior executive responsible for our Australian. I was working in Australia. It was our Australian division of CSC at the time, and he presented it to me. And so when I left Australia, they actually gave it to me as a gift. So it's pretty cool. I actually got to go on a bike ride with them. We actually biked around Albert Park. We biked on the course, which is the Formula One track, where the Formula One Australia actually runs. So very cool all around. I'll have to see if I can pull that off. If I had someone else here with me, I could take the time to pull that off the wall and show you. But anyways, there you go. There's the story. Since you asked, you got more than you bargained for. All right, let's go back to our gappers list. What do we got gapping down here? So I'm going to start with the top of this list and see what we can take a look at. KDP seems to be topping our list today. And wow, this has just been moving straight down this morning. Just over 1 million shares traded. It's down 8%. This is not a ticker symbol that is familiar to me at all. I don't think we've ever looked at this company. So what does KDP do? Keurig Dr. Pepper. Oh, goodness. I forgot that those merged. Such a weird combination, isn't it? Keurig, the company's actually called Keurig Dr. Pepper Inc. Anyways, okay. So yeah, looks like they're making an acquisition. They're going to be buying something called JDE Peet's for $18 billion. Wow. That all in cash. They have that much cash? All right, now I'm really surprised. All right, let's see what this stock has been doing over the... Well, it hasn't really been doing much, has it, though? It was sort of near these highs, and now it's dropped down of this 8%. Wow. So, okay. JDE Peet's. What the heck do they do? JDE Peet's is a... It's an... Oh... It's a prelude to spinning off its coffee brands. They're buying JD. Does anybody know this company? Peet's Coffee? Oh, wow. This is weird. I've never heard of Peet's Coffee. It's trash, Megan? But you know what? You think everything's trash unless it's like some exotic, strange coffee, isn't it? Don't you like? I don't know. I'm not sure. I always picture you drinking fancy coffees. Is coffee? I'm not a coffee drinker, but guys, like, let's be honest. Can you tell me, is coffee sort of like wine, right? If you think it's fancy, you think it's better, but if you put it in unmarked, coffee styrofoam cups, you would never be able to tell the difference. Like, you know how they do those blind taste tests, and you can fool the experts. Then they just like wine ends up just being wine, but if you think it's more expensive, you're gonna like it more. You guys say you can tell? Yeah. All right. Okay, more like Scotch. All right, I'll accept that. Well, that's a good analogy. You're right, because Scotch has distinct flavor profiles, and I would argue Scotch is not... usually it's not good or bad. It's a matter of taste preference. I could see coffee being the same way, perhaps, where it just has different tastes. So, anyways, I don't know. I don't drink coffee. So, water, whiskey, and wine, baby. I stick to the 3 W's. But anyways, okay. So, look, this KDP, Keurig Dr. Pepper, is buying Peet's Coffee, which not everybody loves, but apparently they think it's good enough to pay $18 billion for it. However, their stock price is hurting. It's dropping down here. This doesn't feel like it's going to be a good trader. I have never seen it on our list. The fact that it's only 1 million shares doesn't look like a good trade opportunity to me here this morning. So I think I'm just going to skip on this. I'm not even going to put it on my watch list. The other one I see gapping here is Mara. So Mara is gapping down about 3.5%, just under 1 million shares traded. I haven't seen this on our... I gotta imagine that this is probably moving down because Bitcoin prices were moving down marginally this morning. It tends to move in tandem. Bitcoin prices sitting at $111,498 right at the moment, and that's at a low over the course of this weekend. It had hit a high of around 116,000, but yeah, it's been sort of trending downwards over the last 3 days. So yeah, it's not Bitcoin price is not doing so well, and that makes sense. If I go back to our gappers, let's look at the next ones, right? Mara, ClearSpark, Riot, right? SBET even, which is another treasury strategy type stock. They're all gapping down here, and at the bottom, the PDD, which I already talked about. That seems to... it's gone from up to down, hasn't it? That's pretty remarkable, actually. When I looked at it early this morning, it was on my gap up list. Now PDD is at the bottom of the gap down list. So PDD is probably the one that I should probably put on my list here. We might as well set some levels on this because at least it's in play. So other than my regular stuff, Here's what I've got PDD and Open, and of course I've got the usuals in PLTR, NVIDIA, AMD, and Tesla. Those are my favorites to watch. Chip, yeah, I'd like to know what you guys want us to watch here. If there's anything else you want me to take a look at. People have mentioned Roblox over the last few days, and I have to admit, it's not one that I typically go to. If I look at the price action from Friday, let's go here and look at a chart. You can see on Friday, to me, other than the market push that got it higher, it didn't really do much of interest. I don't like this sort of sideways type action. That's not that good. This morning, it doesn't look great to me. Is there news on this? I haven't had a chance to look it up, so give me a second here while I search it out and see what Roblox has got. They did get an upgrade, so I guess that's good. Wolf Research upgraded them. Other than that, yeah, I don't see much happening here on Roblox. Roblox needs, it can move when it gets really good news, but it needs good news. Analyst upgrades to me aren't quite enough. So let's see, what is it doing on the daily? I mean, it is in a range here that if it breaks higher, it could fill this gap. So go from the current price up to about $125. So there's a potential there, but I have to admit, I don't really love it. So yeah, I mean, if you guys, hey, call it out if it starts to move and I'm wrong, but for now, I'm not going to put it on my list. What else you guys got? I see a few of you are looking at Google. I did mention Google earlier. It's sort of the anomaly out there. Everything else is moving down, and it's moving up just a little bit. Why is Google moving up? Probably no big reason, I would think. Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't see any real big news on Google. Uh, Justin Cracker Barrel? Oh my goodness. I have to admit, Cracker Barrel's one of those. Pardon me if you love Cracker Barrel, but I don't get it. They've got these kitschy stores with lots of junk you got to walk through. It is so salty, their food, and I don't know. I don't get it. But if you like Cracker Barrel, then it's all yours. However, the stock price hasn't been doing well recently. Looks like it's moving down. The baked potato? Maybe I haven't tried the right food. Maybe you guys need to tell me. Next time I'm on the road in the U.S., I need to stop. They're always like roadside, right? Because you see the big signs always side of most major interstates. And anyways, the few times I've stopped, I haven't been impressed. But maybe I ordered the wrong thing. So, all right. What else we got? Meta's got a deal with Google? Wow. That sounds like news. What's wait a second. Oh, look at this. So, wait, what's happening here? So, Meta is going to be using Google's oh, they're going to move to some of their cloud infrastructure off of Amazon's onto Google's environment. That's interesting. Okay. Looks like some partners here with the big boys. Right. Okay. Interesting. Well, you know what? It makes it tough to trade some of these because they're sort of swapping business, right? And I mean, it's 10 billion over 5 years. Let's face it. For Meta, both Amazon and Google, that's not really a big deal, right? Like for most of us normal people, 10 billion is a big deal, but between the three of them, not really a big deal. So I think that yeah, that's probably going to have modest impact on stock price movement here today. So interesting news actually, because it sets a departure because they have used Amazon for a while, and it could be Raf exactly. They could just be putting their toe in the water and just testing it out to see how well Google performs, and if it works, they can move more of their business. But you know what? Until that happens, I don't see it having a massive impact, to be honest. So. All right. What else have you guys got that you're looking at? Let's see. Are my friends out on YouTube? What are you calling out? Anything that we should take a look at? Oh my goodness. So much chat here. It's just scrolling. I can't keep up. Uh, I'm not on social media. Trying to read your comments, guys. It's tough for me to keep up with everything here, so I've been missing a lot of the comments. My apologies. But yeah, if you got any other tickers you want me to take a look at, do let me know. Amanda, I see you calling out ULTA. This is moving on. Last week, didn't they had earnings last week? I see they're actually on the daily chart. I like where they're sitting. They're sitting at a poised. It looks like for a topside breakout here. What was Friday's trading action looking like? Not all that awesome. This morning they have like absolutely no volume, so not much going on here. But oh, it's this week. I thought they had earnings last week. Maybe not. Okay. I do like where it sits on the daily though. So yeah, it might be poised for a move, but let's see here. When are their earnings? Let me find out. Their earnings are happening Thursday after the close. So yeah, I don't know. I don't really have a reason to believe that it's going to move today, other than it looks good on the daily. The volume is not giving me an indication that it's in play early. I see another one mentioned. This is one that we have seen in the past. AEHR, Air Test Systems. It's also not doing much. We got about almost 300,000 shares traded. It's up 14%. It's a good rise if you look at the daily. It's also moved up. Not quite as exciting as a place because it's got to go another couple of bucks before it gets into the all-time highs, but it doesn't look all that bad. So AEHR maybe potential, not good enough to make my list. I would still stick with the same old, so to speak. But what are they? Expands AR production capacity. All right, so they're expanding some of their build capacity. Cool, not cool enough. All right. YouTubers, what are you guys looking at? STSS, ASST. Okay, so we looked at those, Milo, earlier. They were on our gap up list. Open, I also looked at, which I did put on my secondary list. So thank you, and I appreciate it. Tesla. Tesla has been an interesting one because remember we talked about this range. Friday really moved it back up into this range that we had bracketed early last week, and really said it's something of interest. So I'm interested to see where Tesla is going to go. So far this morning, I mean, its movement is pretty average. 1.6 million shares traded so far. It doesn't look all that bad. If you look at a 5-minute chart, it's moved up over the last few minutes, and it looks relatively decent. So yeah, definitely be watching Tesla. I mean, I always like to keep an eye on it. So we'll see where that goes. Apple had some news this weekend where they were talking about I gotta imagine they've got labs doing all sorts of different crazy things. But this time they were talking about their foldable and wearable screen technology. So I don't know. I mean, it feels like a lot of companies have talked about this foldable screen technology. There's been a couple of phones that have come out with it. Usually they have problems, right? You can only open and close them so many times before they break, and the foldability is usually very limited, right? It's not like you can crumple them into a ball and open them up. It's like one specific fold area. But I mean, I still think it's cool technology, right? Like I've longed for the day where you could like have like a big screen TV that you could roll up or something, put it on a wall, and just like statically stick it there and have a big screen wherever you want. That would be cool. But anyways. Maybe we're past that. We're gonna get these like pen light sized projectors, maybe, where you can just project like a screen of any size you want. Anyway, all right. Enough of me going all sci-fi-ish there. So okay, guys. Well, that's what I've got for I think the stocks that I want to take a look at. I'll look at one more here that you're mentioning, just because it's a ticker I'm not familiar with. VTLE. I'm not sure why this one's Vital Energy. I'm not sure why this is grabbing your attention. It's got 377,000 shares traded today. I look at the price action. Does not look great so far this morning. I don't know if it's got some news, but yeah, I'm not loving it, to be honest. It looks like one of these stocks that just does crazy stuff. It's an oil and gas company. Another reason for me not to like it. Yeah, Not loving it. So, okay. Let's take a look at what we've got going on in the community this week, guys, because like every week, we always have tons of things happening here in Bearable Traders. This week is no exception. We've got, starting on Monday, we have, well, actually, I'm not sure. Normally we have our onboarding class, which happens in the evening. I think someone's taken it over. I believe that it's going to be happening, and Carlos has coordinated for someone to deliver that. So if you're a new trader, new to the chat room, new to the community, or you just want a refresher on what you're going to be doing with your trading, or how do I get set up and get this thing running smartly, then we are going to be having our 8 p.m. Onboarding webinar. It's going to be led. I'm not sure who's doing it. Normally Carlos leads that. Again, I'm pretty confident Carlos has coordinated someone else. I seem to remember a conversation about that, but honestly, I can't remember who was taking that over. But that should be 8 o'clock in the onboarding room. You can actually go. We have recorded versions of the onboarding session available for our members that you can watch at any time, including recorded. We record and save every one of our webinars. So past webinars available for all the elite members in the library. You can always get access to those. But today, midday, we do have our bookmap trading session with Nathan. He's going to be leading that at noon. That's for our elite members. That happens in the webinar room. So hopefully you'll join him for that. And you can bookmap, even if you're not interested in bookmap. It's good to know how it works and understand the premise behind it, because it's actually a cool tool where it gives you an interesting visualization of how of basically volumes, not volumes that have executed, but order-based volumes, right? So it's the same stuff you see in the level 2, but it's presented graphically in a way that's much more adaptable. So if you're interested in that, then again, Nathan would be the guy to talk to, and you can pick his brain on that and get some information at noon today. So those are the 2 webinars that we've got. I see people are jumping ahead. As you can see on here, we've got the Tuesday stuff. I'll talk to you about that tomorrow. But yes, Brian is going to be giving a Rising Devil webinar tomorrow. And yes, Andrew did say, Alex, Andrew did say that he is unlikely to be trading this morning. Thor's going to be sitting in for him. So we got Thor and Brian. I think Andrew is, as per your picture, off to Burning Man, as he likes to do. This Burning Man thing, I got to say, I love that Andrew loves going, but it sounds to me just like an exercise in creating difficulties for yourself that you don't need. So you're either going to an area that's bone dry and you're going to get sand granules in everything and in every crevice of your body, or it's going to rain and you're living in a mud bowl. Either way, not for me. I'll stick to my striped golf shirts and sit here in the comfort of my house, thank you. But then again, Andrew's also a guy that calls climbing to the top of a mountain when it is minus 40 degrees Fahrenheit a good time. So, you do you. All right. That being said, let's take a look. Don't forget that we still have our summer sale going on. So if you did want to join and you haven't already joined as a member for Bearable Traders, you can do that. You can use any package from the intro right through to the Elite Annual. That 50% off summer sale applies only to the Elite Annual. So as you can see, it gives you a great deal. And hopefully it's one that you'll take advantage of. It basically makes it half the price of the Elite Monthly. So you might as well take it, and off you go. Megan, I love this. Megan's posted a Burning Man experience at home. So if you want to punish yourself, then here we go. Let's see if we can put this on the screen for everybody. Thanks, Megan. Here's some suggestions. Turn up the thermostat. Pour sand across your floors. Oh my goodness. Set a bookshelf on fire and Venmo somebody random $4,000. That sounds about right. There you go. Okay. Joe, where the heck did you get that picture? That is not one of my finest moments. All right, guys. Whatever you're doing today, I hope you are having fun and are enjoying life. Because you know what? That's what things are all about. If we're here trading, then you're probably doing okay. All right. Let's get into setting some levels. It's 9:10. We have about 20 minutes to the market open. I had a couple things like you can see at the bottom of my list here. I'm going to start with my secondary list. We're going to take a look at these couple of things that we had, because they're the ones that I may not have levels set, and we can take a look at. So PDD, which had this big move up. Let's go back to the 5-minute just to remind you what happened, right? So we had this big move up pre-market. So the high of pre-market is automatically marked for me. I have my tool set up. So $141.99 is the peak it hit. So that will stay there for me. So I can take a look at that. On the daily chart, then, I'm going to be looking for levels because, of course, we've pulled all the way back down and through Friday's level. In fact, we're pretty much, we even went down and hit the level we had on Thursday. So the highs and lows of the previous 2 days are automatically marked in my charts. You can see them here. Hopefully you can see these. They're actually red lines. In the highs are in the big dashes. The lows are in the small dashes, so I can tell the difference between the highs and lows. But they're already marked, so I've got my price bracketed. I'm going to put another level right around here because I can see some area for support at $120. So it makes sense to me that there might be a level. But other than that, PDD, unlikely that I will trade it, but I'm going to watch that anyways. We'll see what happens. Open is the other one that we were taking a look at. It is moving higher today. And you know, it's the volume is still going, by the way. Almost 48 million shares traded so far, and yeah, I like the look of it. Look at where we're pushing up higher here. We've come off of the highs that we set. Once again, that high of the pre-market, which is $5.36, is automatically marked on my chart. Right now, we're moving back into the range. Let me look at a 15-minute chart just to see if we've got any levels that are coming in. I don't really see any, right? The highs and lows of pre-market look to me like that's what's bracketing the price today. So I'm going to watch 464 at the low and 536 at the high. You can see we're right in the middle pretty much of those. So that's something to keep an eye on. Other than that, I'm not seeing any really relevant levels that I absolutely love. We're well up above the previous, play area for the stock. So the highs and lows of the previous 2 days are well below the current price. If we get back down there, well, then we know the fund's over on open. But I like the volume. I mean, the volume today is looking good. That volume Friday also looked pretty good. So, yeah, open's not a bad one to keep an eye on. Let's move to some of the other ones you guys were talking about. Tesla, like I mentioned, Tesla's sitting in a range that I love here, top end of this box. If we can break out higher, I already have a level set at $345 that I'm going to be watching. Up above that, frankly, I don't really have a lot of interest way up until $360. Now, I don't really think Tesla's going to go that high, but I'm ready in case it does pop higher. We'll keep an eye on it. And then, of course, like I've mentioned, the highs and lows of the previous 2 days are currently to the downside of the price. So I know what I'm looking at the downside, plus the other levels I've already listed here, right? It was a big day Friday, so there's a big range in there. So in between, I got 332.11, you can see already marked, and 327.33, which has come off of some of these daily support levels, right? So that's why I have those in there already. What else do I look at? How about NVIDIA? Let's look at a semiconductor stock. I like NVIDIA just on any given day. Again, nothing special, really special happening today. Price action is fairly slow. It's sitting in a range here that it set yesterday. So within that range, I don't expect much. Again, highs and lows of the previous 2 days are the levels I'm looking at. Look at the high of Friday, right, is at the top end of the pre-market range pretty much. The high of Thursday is at the low end of this Friday's range. So I think that's something that I'm going to be watching here. If it breaks to the high side 178.59 or the low side through 176.88, then I'm really going to take a look and see if this thing's going to move heavy. In between that, I'm concerned that it's likely just to be chop. Prakash, I see you're asking what charting software, and USAM does have it. Yes, I use DOS Trading Pro is what I use for my charting software. It's what I also use to trade in. So it's great software. It has its idiosyncrasies, I'll say. It's one that's been developed over a long period of time, but it's fast, it's effective, and it's reliable. So that's really what's most important to me. There's other charting software that looks better out there, but I've learned, especially when I like to travel, DOS is great because it's got low latency. You can trade it on all sorts of different internet connections. You don't have to worry about something that's got 300 or 400 millisecond delay. In fact, right now I'm running off of a 20 millisecond delay, so looking pretty good. All right, I see. Jared, you really want me to look at Neo? Either that or you're stuttering there. You've got Neo going. What's Neo doing? Not really much. 14 million shares. Good amount of volume here this morning. And wow, Neo went up the last couple of days. Look at this rise here. It's gone up, but it's still only a $6 stock. Neo's a tough one because just look at this. Let me show you on a 1-minute chart. See this price action on a 1-minute chart? That tells me that this is largely traded computer to computer, right? It makes it hard to trade as a retail trader because you really don't want to be in between two computers arguing. Which when you get these candles that are within a penny, right? You get red and green candles, or candles that open and close at the same price, where clearly there was activity in between, all within a penny range. That's difficult because we can't trade within a penny range. So I usually just avoid stocks like that. Unfortunately, Neo has looked like that for quite a while. So as much as it's had a good increase over the last couple of days, so have a lot of things. So I would actually recommend there might be better things to look at if you're just going for market movement. So be it. If you specifically have a point of view on Neo, then by all means. But just be aware it might be difficult to trade in the short term, right? Okay. I see someone mentioning Intel. Let's take a quick look. Intel is one of the anomalies in that it is green, I notice here this morning, up 2.5% on 8 million shares. Actually, that's pretty good volume for Intel. Thank you for bringing it to my attention. I saw that it was green here where most all of the semiconductors are red except for Taiwan Semiconductor. It's also green. Yeah, why is Intel actually beating the market today and moving higher? Has it got some news? Gotta be my own news, man. See what we got here. Let's see. Trying to see the news here. The government. I heard that rumor that the government was going to be taking a stake. Doesn't that? Is that actually happening? That they took a 10% stake in the company? It happened. Doesn't that break capitalism somehow? When the government is buying into your company? I don't know. Maybe I've missed. Maybe I got to go back to my economics lessons. But somehow that feels wrong. It broke long ago. I mean, I guess it's arguable that the whole system is broken. But I don't know. Like the government shouldn't be taking stakes directly in a company because it sacrifices its ability to make independent decisions for the security and safety of the nation. Right? Like if you're trying to make sure that your investments do well, your investment should be in the people of the U.S. and the country as a whole, not specific offerings. Again, maybe I'm just naive. I don't know. Anyways, whatever. Yeah, I know. Oh, my naivety is showing, right? Anyways. Okay, well, yeah, that's good for Intel. I mean, on the short term, it's going to be tough to tell how Intel's going to leverage this, though, as the trading opens. It might be worth watching. In fact, you know what? I think based on this, if this has already happened, I'm going to put it on my secondary list. I don't like trading Intel most of the time. It always seems to let me down somehow. But it might be worth putting on a chart, and we'll see what happens, right? If something goes with it. All right. So thank you for pointing that out and mentioning it. We'll see what happens with Intel. All right. So I think I've got a pretty good list so far this morning. If we're looking at the usual, I haven't even looked at PLTR. What is PLTR? I'm not doing much this morning. 1.5 million shares traded. I'm not sure if PLTR is going to be my best target, to be honest. It hasn't always traded that well. In fact, I would rather look at the semiconductors than PLTR. So maybe we're going to shorten my list here. I know that, Steven, someone mentioned Roblox. I didn't love the look of it. here early on. I see that it's got a rise in the last few minutes. The volume is still pretty low, but I know it's, hey, if you guys are favorable, you call it out after the market opens, and we can see what happens and how this thing moves. So it's funny how Intel is now getting pictures in the White House with their selling. I mean, it's weird, eh? Like, this is the CEO is the same guy who was told he needed to resign and get the heck out of there because of his personal investment portfolio. Now suddenly he's golden. In any event, my naivety is showing again. Okay, I think we got some decent targets. It's not a great day, right? We don't have a lot moving, but that's okay. I love these types of days. They tend to give me the best trading, not at the open, but after the open, right? When usually you get through that initial chop, and then we can see directionally where things are going to move. I can get some of my best trading days when this type of thing happens. So we'll see if that plays out today. It means I'm going to have to be patient. It may mean I'm also very boring at the open, right? Because I'm just watching to see how the market plays out. I may not get a lot of opportunity. That being said, I sort of this weekend decided I was going to try and trade a little more actively. I'm a very sort of passive trader at the open, and I don't take momentum plays. But if I see a strong momentum play, I'm going to see if I can't take advantage of that today. Again, I got nothing in the wings that I'm looking for, but if it does happen, then I'll hopefully be ready to pounce. At least I'll do my best to see if I can jump on some things. So it's yeah, Mondays are those that you got to be careful. Like, don't get too eager where you're taking something just to take a trade, just because it's Monday and I've got to get into this. I've got to trade something. If you see a trading opportunity, then by all means, right, go for it. But if you're really just saying, I'm just looking for a thing to trade, then you got to be careful. So here's my list, as I mentioned, right? So I've narrowed it down: Nvidia, AMD, and Tesla. I always like to watch those. I'll be watching those the open just to see what they're doing. They can often be a barometer for how aggressive the market is and what's happening. And then I'm going to take a look at open, PDD, and Intel. Now I know you guys have mentioned Roblox. I'm going to count on you. I'll add it here, right? But I'm going to count on you to tell me if Roblox is moving or not. So, and if they do something interesting, and we'll see what happens. All right, what are our moderators watching? Well, let me bring that list in. Our moderators are starting to get their lists ready. As I mentioned, our live traders this morning are going to be. We're going to have. Brian and Thor, who are going to be trading live for our friends in the chat room. And as you can see, Jared is in early with his list. He's going to be watching AMD and PLTR. He's going to be watching BMNR. That's one that we've seen on our list in past weeks. Didn't pop up this morning, but I'll let Jared tell me if it starts to move. Gary's got Tesla, AMD, and PLTR on his list. Thor's got PLTR, NVIDIA, Tesla, and, of course, some futures contracts on his list. Megan is going to be watching Roblox, Intel, and Open at the Open. Eamon is going to be watching MA, so MasterCard, interesting, and NVIDIA for some potential longs. Brendan's got Open, AMD, NVIDIA, PLTR, and Tesla. Brian's got PLTR, NVIDIA, Tesla, and Roblox. Maybe I'm missing the boat here, right? Everybody's got Roblox on their list. John is just watching Tesla, and Phil not liking a lot. Don't blame you, Phil, but he will be keeping an eye on Tesla, NVIDIA, and Intel. So there you go. That's what our mods are watching this morning. Like I mentioned, we're going to have some live traders in here trading with our members in the chat room. I'm going to be sticking with everybody out on YouTube. Any of our mods out there who want to join me here on YouTube, you're welcome to. Jump right in, and I'll happily add you in so you can keep me company, keep our members company. I think that would be awesome. So. But in any event, all right, that's what I've got this morning. And you guys, again, trade smart. Whatever you do, here's what I look at all the time. Take the damn trade. So I'm going to try and do that this morning. If I see something moving, I'm going to try some momentum trades, and we'll see if I can get those active this morning. I don't know whether it's going to pan out or not, but if it does. I'll be ready for it. Out there, don't forget, on YouTube, we still have our charity running. We are raising funds for to fight children's cancer. We are bearish on cancer and bullish on life. So if you think you can give and donate, anything helps. We'd greatly appreciate it. Just helps hit that $3,000 target we've got, which ends at the end of this week. So it would be awesome if we can make that target. We've got 1 week left and about a third of the goal to go. So yeah, just jump in there, donate. 100% of all the proceeds go directly to the charity of choice. So yeah, greatly appreciate any help you can provide. I hear Brian getting ready. He's jumping into the chat room. So, Brian. Now, my friends on YouTube can't hear you, but anyways, welcome. And I hope you had a great weekend. Yeah. So. Yeah, Roblox is moving. So, all right, Brian, I'm gonna let you go. Thor should be joining you momentarily, and we're off to YouTube land. So, guys, we'll rejoin as around 10:30, where we merge things back together again. So, trade smart, whatever you do. Okay, everybody, let's keep going. We've got We've got a few things. Roblox. You guys are right about Roblox. It is moving. I still am skeptical. I don't know. It's not the type of thing I normally trade. I'm gonna put it on a chart. I will keep an eye on it. Obviously, I'm gonna watch Intel, like I said. We're gonna watch Open here as well. So I think I've got a pretty good list. Oh, the last one I need to put on a chart somewhere is Pinduoduo PDD. This I don't have a lot of expectations that it's going to move super well, but it might. Yeah, I don't know. That move up and then move down was quite like, look how quickly it moved up, and now it's like giving it all back and more. So I sort of like the move. In fact, if this thing can pop up and then show some weakness, that would be pretty awesome. So PDD might be an open trade for me if it can, I said, pop and drop. So let me keep an eye. On that. What am I going to do here? I am going to add another chart. Whoa. PDD. Okay, guys. I think I'm ready. I've got all my charts ready to go. Hopefully, we're going to get a trading opportunity. Let me shut down some of this. Got too many web pages open. Slowing down my machine. All right. Yeah, Roblox did have some bad news last week. I just can't see trading it long. I don't love it. Intel also, if Intel can get a pullback to the VWAP or below at the open, this might be good for a long. So I'm going to watch PDD for a short, Intel for a potential long. Open is right at the previous day close, and it's only a $5 stock, so I don't love it as much. PLTR might actually be good for a short. It's hard to read PLTR. I don't know. All right, well, let's see what we get. Yeah, 2 minutes to the open. Well, less than that now. Less than that. Just a minute, minute 15. All right. All right, there's my alarm. So we have 1 minute until the open. And again, Intel, I might do a fallen angel type strategy, which means I'd want to see a pullback and a rise. And then PDD, I'd look for a pop and then a drop. So let's see what we get, if we get anything. In fact, the problem is we've got the previous day close sitting at 127, and then the the VWAP, which is above that on PDD. That's not my perfect setup scenario, so that's not as good as I'd like. And what about Intel here? Intel. I'm not sure what to do with Intel either. Intel looks a little bit cleaner. It's a lower range though, right? Like, here's the bell though. All right, so the bell's going. We got to see what we get. We've got PDD, which is popping up here. So it just hit the previous day close. Hit the previous day close. You know, I am going short a little bit on this because I don't think it's going to pop higher. Well, if it does, I added the small size so that I can add into this if I need. I don't like how it's hanging around here. This thing may pop on me, and that's not ideal. Taking a partial here because it's hanging around here too long. Moving my stop aggressively here to break even. If it pops back up, I'm going to actually stop myself out. Hoping that I get a much bigger move here as we move down. So I am short, like I said, PDD. It did pop at the open, so not as high as I wanted, which means that you know, there's not as much room to drop. So, and if it again comes and stops me out, in fact, I'm going to take a little more off right here just in case. Moving my stop down from my break even again. There we go, and it did stop me out. So. All right, so look, an early trade for me. I just stuck to my rules, right? Followed my strategy, and I was able to get an opportunity. Now, Intel did drop off the open, but it didn't drop in a way that yeah, would have given me confidence for the pull back up. It actually went through VWAP and is heading lower a little bit, so that breaks that trade for me. So we'll see what PDD. PDD is probably going to go now and just be annoying to me, isn't it? That's all right. Look, I got my early trade. Again, stuck to my rules. Didn't want to take a lot of risk on this. I didn't get a great entry, which means I had to be a little more aggressive on stopping out because, you know, this thing could have really moved against me. But it's good to see, even if it goes lower here and I'm not along for the ride, at least I know, right, that my setup worked and my strategy was, you know, a valid one. So I'm happy with that. I'm happy with that. I see you guys watching some of the other things that we were looking at. What is PLTR doing right now? Oh, yeah, big drop on PLTR. I should have gone with that for a short. I did say I liked it for a short. It did pop up, yeah, but not very far. That would have been hard for me to get into, in all honesty. So that would have been a little bit of a difficult one, but it certainly sold off well. So I would have got a good move. Yeah, I see a couple of people mentioning trading terminals not working. It was working for me. That's what I was using for the gappers, and it was working fine. I think we might have an issue with some of our regional servers because I know that some people in some regions are having troubles, and others say that it's working fine. So, so apologies for that. Look at this. I looks like I picked the wrong horse. Eh? Sometimes that's the problem with trading. It's hard to, you know, it's just hard to pick the right candidate. You know, you pick one, and sometimes you miss the one that moved. I went with PDD, and look, PDD hasn't really moved, right? It's still sitting in this range. Whereas if I had gone with something like PLTR, you know, I wouldn't have never been in trouble. I could have shorted this and just held along for the ride. So, but yeah, it's not what I picked. So Tesla is dropping, Nvidia dropping heavy here this morning. So down about $2 on Nvidia. So, could move lower. The markets also seem to be moving down. So, So, what are we looking at? Sorry about that. I just cracked my knuckles in the microphone. My bad. Taking a look here. See, this is why you stick to your rules. By the way, look at PDD. It didn't end up doing much. It's actually gone up higher than my entry, so I don't hang on to this and pray. It either works or it doesn't. In this case, it didn't. I got two quick partials and then stop at a break even. So I'm pretty happy, happy with that. It's again means that it's really sort of a very modest trade, but I'm okay with that. PDD just went green. Might actually be a long trade. Not my trading setup, so I'm not going to take it, but and Intel is looking as bad as it usually does, to be quite honest. Here's Intel. I don't like the look of these candles. Yeah. Especially that open candle. Look at the giant topside wick and then just sold off. Not looking good at all. Not at all. Oof, I'm gonna get some water. Throat's sore after talking for an hour straight. Look at PDD. Let me flip back to PDD here. Look at PDD. It did a reversal. It did hit the previous day close and is going higher now. Could have taken it as a long, like I said. But I'm not going to go chasing this. I'm not about to get into it now. Tesla has pulled up to the underside of the VWAP here. Previous day close is 340. 340.01 is exactly where it had closed on Friday. So Tesla, if it continues to fail here under the VWAP, it might actually be good for a short. What do you think? Should I take a risky short on Tesla? Tesla likes to pop up, so I don't know. I said I wanted to try more. I gotta wait and see the setup really happen. Yeah, see? Glad that I didn't. I didn't see the failure set up yet. You got a 5-minute chart. We really just have almost an engulfing, right? The opening candle's a little strange there, so this is why you don't jump in too early on something, right? I had a premise, I had a thought as to what I was looking for. It broke that, meaning it didn't fail at VWAP and go lower. Instead, it's pushed up through it, and now it looks like it wants to go green. So I'm happy that I stayed out of the trade. Now, NVIDIA, on the other hand, did. Look at this. Look at NVIDIA hanging out here. Now, this is a lot of like uncertainty candles on a 1-minute chart. Yeah, it's a little, NVIDIA's a little strange of an animal. Look at a 5-minute. Look how it just has this big red candle. But on the 1-minute, you just got all these like strange little candles. So market is pushing higher at the moment, so NVIDIA, whether it leads or follows, it tends to do what the market does. It is a big part of the overall market these days, as the largest company by market cap out there, so yeah. Tesla went green momentarily and then dropped back down, so interesting. OSRH. What is this thing that you're looking at? OSRH. OSR Holdings. 126 million shares traded on this thing. It's a dollar stock. Wow. MB, that is not something I would be trading personally. I'm not saying that you don't. I'm just saying I wouldn't be. All right, I've gone short here on Nvidia, and it looks like I caught it just perfectly. Look at that. I went short, and it dropped immediately off after I went short. And I'm gonna move my stop down a little bit just in case this thing comes all the way back up and stops me out. But man, that was a good catch. I want to set a new low if we can get down, right? 176.60. That would be great. Set a new low here. Allow me to... I see it hesitating a lot here at this 177. It's getting some support, so we need to drop the 177 level. I'm going to take another partial here. And move my stop down a couple of cents. My actual entry, 177, 28.5 cents. So, look at me, guys. 2 trades this morning. See, I feel I got to fill in because I don't have a sidekick to take trades for you guys. I'm going to take trades. So, here we go. What else we got going on? PDD is up a little higher. Tesla's really hanging out this level. It's got to break down. If it can break again, 176.60 is where I'd be looking for that breakdown. So, yeah, no, well, no, I'm normally Carlos's sidekick. I'm the sidekick. Okay, 176.60 is what I said I was looking for a range. I'm going to take a partial here just in case it bounces. And again, more if we can break the low of day. We're just not moving very fast, but hopefully things will pick up. So, see what we get here. Yeah, it looks like we might come back up and stomp me out here on Nvidia. So I judged the drop well. I just happened to get in at a perfect time where I never was at risk. I was basically green from the second I hit the button because it dropped right on me. So that's always a nice position to be in. But, it doesn't look like I'm going to get a big continuation move. So not a surprise. I mean, Nvidia still has a lot of strong support. And here we go. Just stop me out. So there's another small trade. Haven't got any runners. I got 2 trades, but no big runners today, so that's unfortunate for me. AMD? Was AMD a Rising Devil setup? Let's take a look here. What did AMD do? The problem is it didn't rise, right? A Rising Devil needs to rise at the open. And AMD, I mean, it sort of looks great in hindsight because look at that big drop, but it didn't pull back. Would have wanted it to pull up to about 166. Then you can get a good timed and priced entry. But it didn't look like that happened. So. Wow. Did Nvidia just like, did it spike me out? Look at that. Look at where my exit is. Right at the top of that candle. It literally just came and picked me off. Oh, that sucks. What is Apple up to? You guys are calling up Apple? Yeah, oh yeah, Apple's suddenly on a rise, isn't it? Went green. Yeah. So Apple's moving higher. The market is sort of chopping sideways. Yeah, if Apple can continue higher, I wouldn't mind it to go higher, so I could maybe catch a reversal on Apple. Certainly not doing it right now. My own shirt is freaking me out every time I see it in the camera. The LTR. What's it doing? Oh, PLTR dropping again. Wow, under 150 now. Yeah. Oh, look at the drop on the market. Look at the cues. Look at that just drop in the last minute there. Uh, well, I'm disappointed that Nvidia stopped me out. At least it hasn't gone and like just, you know, dumped afterwards. I actually had a pretty good entry on it, so and now we're right back up to, you know, what would have been my entry. So yeah, so I'm just as happy. I you know, didn't miss anything. I would not have taken another partial anyways. So as expected, we have a relatively choppy morning. You know, not a lot of stuff is just run. Even the Apple, right? It took it was a little bit of chop before it decided to make this move, and that move is fairly modest. PLTR, which obviously had a good move downwards, that was probably the one of the smoothest moves, right? Followed a traditional pattern, moved down, came back, you know, for the little bit of a retest, dropped again. But you know, again, for PLTR, that's not that huge of a move. I guess it's about a $6 top to bottom, but it's not massive. Tesla, you guys are pointing out Tesla. Yeah, Tesla had most of this is on that one candle, isn't it? It sort of dropped. I mean, two 1 minute candles make up the entirety of the drop. 931 and 945. So AMD, you guys are pointing out. Let's take a look. AMD. Yeah. It is actually pretty much at Friday's low. So we got some interesting stuff here, but not, you know, not massive moves, but interesting. Intel actually just sold off and just went red. There's Intel. Here you go. So yeah, that news of government investment didn't float it for that long. It went red. Wow. And look at this, Nvidia. Nvidia has now bounced back. Nvidia is looking like it could get itself green now. Well, if this thing can come back and retest VWAP, it's down another 20-30 cents. Might be good for a long to take it green. I wouldn't want to take the risk on it now, but SoFi? Let's see. You're mentioning SoFi, not one that I've looked at today. Let's see what SoFi is doing. Looks very choppy, SoFi. You just look at a 5-minute chart on SoFi, you can see, look at this, right? That looks very choppy. So I'd be very careful with that. Very careful. Nvidia continuing higher here, so again, it didn't quite move down enough for me to take the entry and get a good risk to reward, but Nvidia, it's got a history of moving to recapture the high of day, no matter what it does at the open. So it very well could. But this move here is exactly why I don't chase Nvidia on these moves. I find that my headphones squish my giant ears. All right. The market is really uncertain overall, I would say. A lot of the stuff we were watching at the open, like Open, is Open turned out to be pretty choppy, as you can see, up and down and up and down. Roblox, as I expected, pretty choppy, right? Within a pretty narrow range here. So hard to get directional on that. PDD ended up being a long. As you guys know, I took that short, but look, that would have been a turn and burn long. I've seen PDD do that a lot. I struggle to take those longs, right? But anyways, it would have been a good move. Apple, yeah, look at that. Apple's continued too. A couple of you mentioning Apple. So Apple might be a good candidate for a reversal a little bit later. Not now, but it's one that if it continues to go higher, which I hope it does, if it can get up towards 230 and then show some failure, that might be the type of trade that I like to take later on in the morning. And Nvidia has gotten choppy. Oh. See, look at the market overall, right? When you get this is the SPY. These are the Qs. When you see like this type of chop in the market, that's problematic. It's hard to trade because it's just bouncing around. Nvidia, like I have no idea at this point where Nvidia wants to go. Looked like it was going to try and go green. Now it's moved back below the VWAP. Very choppy. So. All right, so look, it's a good time to just sit and watch, right? Don't feel that you have to trade. If you're in a trade and it's working, great. If you're looking for a trade, just make sure you see very strong indicators because clearly we do not have a directional market. So you're not going to get a lot of support at this point from the market. That could change, right? It could start to move at any point. But, right at the open, I don't really worry about the direction of the market as much. It's great if it supports my trade, but at this point, just 25 minutes into the day, absolutely I worry about the direction of the market for taking a trade. And with a market that just doesn't know what it wants to do, that makes a trade tough, right? Because the stock could have all the indicators of going one direction or the other, and then get forced a different direction if the overall market goes in that direction. So gotta be aware of that. We do have our one piece of economic news that is supposed to be coming out this morning. And that should be coming out in just over 5 minutes now, which is the new home sales. Again, 635,000 is the estimate for new home sales. We'll see if we hit that number or not. Oh. All right. NVIDIA continues to just be choppy here. Roblox that a lot of people were watching did a little sort of double top here and then dropped. It's I mean, that's not a double top pattern that I would have taken too early in the day, not strong enough volume, but certainly retested and failed at this level at 126. You're still short PDD. Yeah. I don't know. PDD looks like it might want to drop from here. I don't know. It's not one of my favorite things to trade, so I can't really comment to what it normally looks like because I don't normally watch it. So I'm not sure what to make of it, but yeah, I can't tell you. Hope it drops for you, but Tesla, yeah, see Tesla just popped back up. So in the chat room, Thor is actually long Tesla. He got long right down here at 948 and is looking for a push all the way up to 342 and 45. So he's got a level up there that he's looking for. He's looking at his pivot levels. Camarilla pivot levels, and he saw a pivot level down here. That's why he decided to go long on it. Two minutes till the home sales come out. We'll see if the market reacts to that. Let's look at the market overall. Just see what we've got. Again, look how choppy that is. Doesn't that look horrible? I just don't. That is odd. Look at the 5 minute. It looks equally bad. Look at that. Yuck. Absolutely yuck. All right. Well, not much we can do. PDD is back at VWAP. Just went through 130 to the downside. See if PDD can drop. I know that I know at least one of you said that you were short PDD. SoFi you guys are talking about? Yeah. In the last minute we've got, or a couple of minutes, we've got a rise in SoFi. Again, watching the market here to see what it does. All right. About 15 seconds now until that number comes out on the new home sales. Again, tough to tell whether the market is going to react to that or not. But be ready in case it does. It may go in your direction, it may not. Here we go. Numbers out. Slightly more bullish than expected. New home sales just came out at 652,000 versus forecast of 635,000. So, for whatever reason, my screen hasn't updated on that, but there it is. That's what the number is. 652 is the number. So we got to push higher on the market. A little bit of a pop, as you can see, on that number. I don't think it's sustainable, but we did get a little bit of a pop higher. So that's going to help the long trades, not so much on the short trades. That pushed Nvidia higher. Look at that. Finally did go green. And it went up and spiked to a new high of day. Probably pushed Apple higher too. What's Apple? Yeah, well, actually didn't do much for Apple, did it? Huh. Apple's up at the high of day here. But, yeah. I like Nvidia up here at the high of day. Looking to see what it's doing. Whoops. Sorry, guys. Forgot to change that chart back. Some buying still happening here in Nvidia. We're not anywhere near the all-time highs. You know, all-time highs range was quite a bit. I mean, not hugely, but like we're talking 184, right? So that's a good $6, $5-6 above the current price. So that would be quite a ways for Nvidia to go, especially in a day like today that doesn't have a strong directional quality to it. But don't forget to hit the like button. We appreciate that. It really helps with the growth of the channel. A little thumbs up. So thank you. I appreciate it. PDD seems to have dropped again, back down below this VWAP, so might be going down more. All right. I like Nvidia here. See where Nvidia wants to go. Could be interesting. Again, if you can hit that thumbs up, it helps. We want to get those likes to the moon. Get them going. That would help out the channel. Oh, Nvidia. Look at that. Pushing higher. Tesla's struggling to get green here. It's looks like it wants to, but there's clearly some selling that's holding it here. It looks like it's got every reason to go higher. I know the Thor wants it to go higher because he's sitting long, and like I said, he needs it up over the high of day to get his move, his targeted move. But yeah, it's tough. On the other side, we got Nvidia, which is happily moving higher. Love it, like that. Now, what I'd be looking for, so we're 10:04 right now, which is sort of an in-between time for me, right? Like it's not a time I typically trade, but Nvidia is a type of stock that's setting up well where I'd want to see some exhaustive volume at the top, like a big volume candle, as a whole bunch of people just sort of do their last buy. Well, really, what it is a lot of sellers selling into the buyers. But if we could get that, like I'm already seeing the bid start to load up a little bit, and the ask is lightening, but I don't see the volume to follow that, which means you got to be careful on Nvidia because people can load up the ask really fast, like this. See, the bid orders just went away, and a bunch just popped into the ask. So it's yeah, it changes quickly. There's a lot of a lot of people playing games on Nvidia. So we'll see what happens. I'm just watching, just talking you through what I'm looking for. This Tesla, it is really stuck. Look at these candles. One after the other, right? Slowly moving higher, but tiny little candles. Not going very far. I mean, Tesla obviously is going to break. Just got to figure out where and when. AMD is on a run. Let's see. AMD is, oh, well, yeah. AMD bounced off of, what is it, S5 level, if you follow the Camarilla pivots, and has bounced up $2 from there. Huh. All right. Watch, just keeping an eye on Nvidia, guys. Just want to see what it's going to do. I don't see that volume I was talking about yet. So without that volume, it gets hard to know where it's going to go. Oh, look, Tesla finally poked its nose green. Let's see if it can hold it now. 340. Oh, now it's red. Now it's green. It's now it's red. Now it's green. it's really, it's just right here on this edge. Go on, Tesla. Do it for Thor. All right, Tesla looks like it is finally green and holding, so that's good. Come on. Now, Nvidia, on the other hand, it's a shame that it's doing what it's doing because it came up, set a high of day, right? Pulled back. Now it looks like it might want to go and retest. Just doesn't have enough volume. If it had some volume here, I might be more interested in one of my trade strategies, my Mountain Pass trade strategy. But without the volume, this thing could likely go higher. All right, guys. Slowly. Moving slowly, slowly. Executed an Intel short position, Easy E. What is Intel? What is Intel doing? Yeah, Intel's... Yeah, just chopping mid-range, isn't it? Tesla finally did it. Finally got green. It looks like now it can go to the high of day. LTR bounced off the low here, that S5 level I'd mentioned. Moving higher, steadily higher. And the Nvidia that we're keeping an eye on is still up here retesting this area. This is yeah. Again, like I said, right? This is sort of the type of pattern I like to trade short, but only if we get exhaustive volume at the top, especially at this time of day. It's a little early for me. So, again, after 10:30 tends to work better, but there's nothing to say that it can't go early. But I don't want to, I'm not going to be too aggressive. I had two okay trades this morning. They, like you guys saw, they didn't really do all that much, but I am green on the day, so that's something. So we'll have to see what we get. SoFi. A bunch of you are watching SoFi. You guys really like this stock. Let's see, what's it doing? It's up at the high of day. What's the normal volume? What is this trades about 75 million shares? 77.5 million shares a day is what I see as the average. So, yeah, it's definitely on track for that. See if it can hold this volume for the whole day, but not an easy trade, in my estimation. Huh. Well, I hope SoFi works for anybody who's trading it. All right, SoFi moving a little higher here. Nvidia not doing much. Hanging out here. Guys, what do you got? Kramer. Did Kramer go bullish on PLTR? Really? That's interesting. Huh. Well, it is true, Nav. At the end of the period, though, right? It's sort of net profits at the end of the period, whatever your period is based on when you signed up. All right. Keeping an eye on the markets overall. PLTR looks like it's stopped its rise here. It's moving sideways. Tesla's still going up, though. Here it comes. Remember what I told you? Thor is trading this in the chat room. He got in way down near the bottom here, down here somewhere. And he's looking for 342.45, so he's most of the way there now. Yeah, for you guys again that are on Trading Terminal, probably being that we launched a bunch of new features today, looks like we've had some server issues. Some of the regional servers seem to be having some issues, others are fine. So, depending on what you're connecting through, you may be getting a different experience. So, apologies for that. I know the team is working on it. All right. Don't forget, our charity is running. If you want to donate to Kids Cancer, then we'd welcome that opportunity. All the money goes to Kids Cancer. So, look at this. Thor's getting towards his target. All right. All right. Guys, I'm still, just watching, waiting. Remember I said about NVIDIA here in the test? This is a good indication as to why, right? I won't take my reversals. Instead of reversing, what has it done? It's now chopping in this range. Again, no big volume, so it tells me that it wasn't really done. It's just could be taking a breather, and then it could go higher. So, not a good risk to reward. So that's why I wait until I see the volume, and if it never happens, then I don't get a trade. That's just the way it goes. Intel just went above VWAP, so Intel, which is not all that exciting here, it just went above VWAP, as is, par for the course for Intel as usual. It's a fairly modest move. I mean, over the last half hour, it's moved a grand total of 60 cents, right? So, but that's just Intel, right? All right, Nvidia just hanging out here. All right, pretty boring, guys. I got nothing much to do. Just watching the markets wiggle around here. What else are you guys watching? Uh, chill vlog. What strategy am I using? Well, I mean, I right now that's this time of day, it's really my mountain pass strategy, which would be my primary, my go-to strategy, which is a double top or double bottom strategy. It's a reversal based strategy. So, and I've got criteria in there, like I keep talking about, right? That volume. I like to see exhaustive volume candles. I want to see a high of day set and then a retest. So if you look at NVIDIA right here, there was a high of day that was set and it pulled back and then it did retest, but it didn't do it on any volume, so it didn't give me a short opportunity. And then you notice it tested it again. So we've got almost like a triple top happening here now. And this thing may drop, right? Look at the VWAP and the previous day close are almost at the same price now. But, I don't have a good percentage probability of that happening. It could just as likely go and make a new high of day. So, so I've got to wait. I've got to wait for this big volume candle to come in if it happens. And it might not. If it doesn't, then so be it. And sometimes you get parts of your strategy that hit, but not all of it. So here I have the pattern, but no volume. Look at Tesla. Tesla, on the other hand, look, this is a volume candle. See, we got a bigger volume right here when it hit the high of day. So in this case, I have volume, but no pattern. So, it's just, I see this type of stuff all the time, which is why I've combined them so that I can, find it when I get the best criteria, then I've got the best chance of success. It does mean I miss a lot of potential opportunities, but it also means I keep myself out of a lot of trouble. So, my experience was that at best it's a break-even proposition, taking all these, if I took every trade that only had part of the pattern set up, there's no point trading a whole bunch if you're just going to break even or, potentially lose. So I'll wait. I'll wait for my opportunity. If I get it, great. If I don't, then so be it. Then I'm just sitting watching. Right? That's just the way it goes. So. Yeah, it is choppy. I mean, I would say yes, it is a choppy day today. I mean, and you don't have to look any farther than, just look at the SPY. Look at this, right? Like that's a choppy chart, right? We're pretty much at the same price we opened at, just below it, and we've been up and down and up and down, and like it's literally definition of chopping in a range. Now the Qs are slightly better, right? That it has sort of gone up a little bit, but not that by that much. So, you know when you get a strongly directional day, when that happens. It's obvious. Not only in the market indices, but in the stocks that you're looking at usually. So I'm just happy to sit and watch. We'll watch and see what happens. Keeping a closest eye on Tesla and Nvidia because I like what they're doing right now. But yeah, other than that, relatively quiet day for me. I've already had more trades than I normally have at the open. I had two. Again, neither one was a big trade. You guys watched me trade them live here, but the fact that I had two trades is relatively unique for me. So. Yeah, Nav, don't force it. If the system isn't working today, sometimes it's better off just to leave it. All right. Thanks, Banner. Appreciate that. You guys had any other trades? Let me know. Hymns. I see you guys mentioning hymns. Let's see what hymn. I haven't looked at hymns. Yeah, it doesn't look great, does it? I mean, it had one decent move lower, I would argue, but not easy because it pushed up above VWAP, then decided to drop. Yeah, hymns would be a tough one. What's the daily look like on hymns? Oh yeah, see how it's in this range over the last most of last week. Even when the market went crazy on Friday, it didn't really have that great of a day. So I mean, it did go up, but not as much as a lot of other things. Yeah, if you're trading hymns, doesn't look like that easy of a trade. So. You had an amazing long on PLTR. Good. Hey, look, that's great. It wasn't a bad trade from the low here, right? I had a level, 150, whole dollar level. You know, turned out to be a good trade. Again, not quite, doesn't quite meet my strategy. Although, look, notice how you had that volume, low of day on volume, and then the retest. The problem is this would have broken one of my conditions. Well, two conditions of mine. One, that it broke lower, even though it's just a wick, right? It broke lower, so set a new low of day. And two, it's too early in the day for my reversal strategies to be maximally effective. So, good that it worked. Not the strategy that I trade. Now Tesla's just chopping around, and Nvidia just chopping around here. So Apple, is it a double top? Let's take a look together. Well, this is a tough call here. So if I look at a 5-minute chart, it looks pretty choppy, so I can't see any topping pattern in that. If I look at a 1-minute chart, well, we've got like almost like a quadruple top, right? It tried 1, 2, 3. This is the 4th time that it's trying here. None of them happened on any volume. See how the volume's relatively flat across the whole thing? In fact, the larger volume seems to be at the reversal point of the lows. And that's not saying much. So Apple, to me, that just means tough to read, right? No real clarity as to which direction this thing is going to go based on my strategies. So careful. Actually, let's look at Apple on a 2-minute. I also like the 2-minute chart sometimes. Yeah, you could almost argue a double top on this one when you look at it that way, but I don't like it because, again, it's more like a triple top, right? You have first time, second time, third time test. And then, you know, in that respect, people like to call those head and shoulders, which means you need the middle one to be higher than the other two. It sort of is, but not enough to really create a strong pattern, in my opinion. Again, it's only my opinion. And I could very well be wrong. I am wrong on a daily basis. That is something I've gotten used to, right? If you're going to be a trader over the long term, you've got to get used to being wrong and accept that you're going to be wrong a lot. That's okay. It's absolutely okay. Oh, that's bold. J Drex. You see ASST going to go. T-Man 101. She does actually say that. But that's how it goes, right? That's happy to the secret to a long marriage anyways is just let it go. If she says you're wrong, you're wrong. You could try once, maybe twice, to argue your point, especially if you strongly believe you're right. If she's absolutely convinced you're wrong, just go with it. There was my daughter played very competitive soccer at university. One of my favorite stories is there was a coach, there, you know, the ref, anyways, who was calling penalties, and he made a couple of bad calls. I'll say that, in my opinion. And there were parents that were just screaming at him from the sidelines. That's gaslighting, Tizan. You know what? You can call it what you want. I call it wisdom, because it's not worth the fight. You know, it's not worth the fight. Anyways, back to my soccer story. There's parents that were just starting to rip at him, just screaming at him, right? The stupid call, well, you don't know what you're doing, blah blah blah. And, you know, what are you making these bad calls? And the guy, I guess he'd had enough. He turned to the crowd and said, "I might be wrong, but I am not changing my mind." I love that line. So he's just like, you know what? I don't know if I'm right or not, but I am not changing my mind on this one. So you can yell at me all you want. So I always think of him when my wife is absolutely certain on something, and I firmly believe she's wrong, and I'm thinking that she is that ref, right? She might be wrong, but she's not changing her mind, so why am I going to argue? All right, that was my alarm. If you just heard, that's my 10:30 alarm that tells me that this is often when we get into market reversal type of point of view. And, I'd be more likely to take a reversal trade for something that's moving strong up or down roughly this time of day. So, but again, I'm not going to force anything. Like Nvidia, I actually like Nvidia for a potential short here. See, we're getting lower highs, right? We got the first high at the high of day, and then a lower high, and then another lower high. It actually looks decent for a short. What I don't like is we still don't really have that volume. And I'd be worried that this thing would push higher. So it's at best a coin toss as to whether this thing is going to go up or down. It's definitely going to move out of this range that it's set over the last half hour. But again, to me it's 50-50 as to which way. So you guys mentioning, oh yeah, open just moved to a new high of day. So that's nice. But not really doing anything remarkable. So yeah, we'll see what happens here. Tesla, what is Tesla up to? Tesla's headed back towards high of day. For Thor's trade, I really do hope that it can break higher. That would be good. Like Thor to have a winner. And yeah, I'm gonna go back and keep watching Nvidia here. See what it does. And Nvidia might now, if the risk to reward changes, like it's doing now, see how it's popping up again? We get up here and then it shows weakness again because I see a bunch of orders around 379.40, and that's where the high of day is. 379.41 roughly is the high of day. It might be the risk to reward would make it interesting for a potential short, but it's tough when it's in this choppy range here. I risk just missing the opportunity, right? Because I won't get in, and then the thing will drop. PDD short you're calling out. Let's see, what does PDD look like? Well, PDD is moving lower. The volume seems to be out of it. See how the volume's really dropped off? Looks to me like the volume is just collapsed on this thing. So, yeah. I mean, and it's approaching the previous day close where it could get a bounce. So, if you're already short, then great. If you're not, just be careful with it. I wouldn't go chasing this. All right, what are we doing here on Nvidia? Still sitting here. Nvidia's testing here again.
Here we go.
Oh yeah, you guys mentioned BM&R earlier. I haven't seen BM&R all day. Let's see what it's up to. BM&R. Did I just hear a voice in my head?
Hello, Peter.
Ryan, how are you, sir?
Morning, sir. I'm doing okay, actually.
Good. Let's
Yeah, I started out with some PLT short, and that worked out quite well. And then, yeah, Thor caught this really nice trade off of S3 on Tesla, and I
yeah, I've
got
been
into it
watching him.
late. I got into it as it kind of broke through the view app there,
Right.
and yeah, so I had a few false starts on Tesla and Nvidia, but managed
Okay.
to make it back.
Let me see if I can't get you in here because I've been lonely. It's been a lonely morning.
Well,
It's
yeah, I
I
imagine.
had no sidekick today, so let's see if I can't. Get,
Hopefully, Carlos is enjoying his vacation, his time off.
there it is. I hope so. He better be, because if he's
He
not,
better
then
be because he's going to be back on, and we'll want him in tip-top shape when he gets back.
yeah, exactly. Well, more than that, I don't want to be doing all this work if he's not having fun. So,
Exactly. Well, that's a good point too.
but anyways, so yeah, guys, I see you mentioning BM&R. It doesn't look awesome to me, to be honest. It doesn't look that great. Whatever you guys are watching on it looks sort of like Nvidia here, which is just moving sideways. Now it looks like it might break the high of day. Let's see if it can set a new high. There you go, 179.42. Set a new high.
There's a
By a
big
couple of
order
pennies.
on Nvidia at 180. It just seems to every time it pops up, there seems to be a seller there
Right.
that front runs that 180.
Yeah. So we'll see. This is why, like everyone, I was saying, while it was setting up for it looked okay for a short. It didn't look great, and this is the exact reason why I don't take these shorts. So here we go, pushing higher in Nvidia.
Yeah, we've got 180. Maybe this seller at 179, sort of 60 area is going to step aside now.
Yeah, and I see some other orders stepping up here at 179.75, 179.80. Yeah. So yeah, but there's a. You're right, Brian. We've got a couple 100,000 shares just sitting at 180,
Yep,
waiting to be
300,000
taken.
shares. They're there.
Yeah.
Uh, could mean that the price is going to go there.
Yeah. Could.
So people are maybe starting to position for these Nvidia earnings numbers that are going to be coming out.
And I forgot. We got to get back into the chat room. Hello, friends in the chat room. I've been
We got an echo going on now,
oh well, that would be it, I
whatever you've
think.
done.
Maybe you have the volume on in the chat room. No echo in the room there. So
Yeah, still got an echo.
did you turn off the speaker in the chat room for you, or the sound? It's probably where your echo's coming from.
Maybe.
So
Oh yeah, sorry. I had my
there you go. All good. It's all good. Okay, guys.
yeah,
Nvidia
no, I
pushing
had
to a new high
sorry,
of day.
that was my fault. Didn't mute the room, and it is muted now.
Perfect. We're good to go.
There we go. Yeah.
Yeah, we've been watching that, Phil. Phil's calling out the $180 orders on Nvidia, and we've been looking at that.
Yep. It's definitely there. Tesla, I like Tesla long back around 10 or 9:15. Right now, Tesla's really just chopping in a range, so you need to basically just keep an eye on it at this point and just see if it breaks out of this range.
Uh, there's my market alarm. I guess I didn't turn it off right, so reminding me of my 10:30 reversal point. So did you hear what when? I actually don't know. When is Burning Man? Is it happening this week? Is it on right now?
Yeah, it starts the week before the long weekend. So it
August.
usually starts on the Saturday.
Okay, yeah, it started August 24th, so that would have been
People,
yesterday.
people show up earlier Obviously, to get so there's a lot of building that has to happen, a lot of stuff has to go on. Oh, everybody has to get their camps set up, and it goes through the long weekend. So usually Monday is the giant.
So here's
Last
what I've.
year, I think last year Andrew told me it took them, I don't know, what was it, like 12 hours or something like that to actually get out of the Burning Man site
Yeah, that's what
because
I
there's so
hear.
many people all leaving. Yeah.
Right.
And it
And they
all
only.
narrows it all, yeah, it all narrows into one road.
Exactly. So they're trying to
Oh,
limit the damage.
has
You
it
got
been
this
stormy
giant
yet?
desert, but you have to drive all in a straight line. So, uh,
Yes.
but anyway, so yeah, here's the headline that I just pulled up: Burning Man threatened by dust storm and flood warning. Like it just sounds like
Uh-oh.
so much fun.
Yeah, well, the last one, the flood warning was pretty, the floods were, the rain was pretty brutal.
A dust advisory
You
was
see
issued
that?
Saturday that a wall of blowing dust coming off Smoke Creek and Black Rock Desert was moving north at around 30 miles per hour. It could result in sudden reductions in visibility, and travel should be delayed. Oh my God. Scattered
It,
thunderstorms are expected. Oh my goodness. Like, see, this is. Doesn't sound fun.
well, the thing about the site is well, even when I was there and the weather was relatively nice, I mean, yeah, you get these gusts of wind that blow across the what they call the playa, and it kicks up these dust storms. So, when you're out riding around looking at all these art installations, you're basically wearing a ski mask and a dust mask,
Okay. Sounds awesome.
just in case. And the thing about it's, people say it's a desert. It's not the Sahara. It's not like,
Right.
you think of a desert as being sand.
Yeah.
This desert is not sand. It's like a fine clay,
Wow.
which is
Even
why
worse.
I guess why it can get quite dusty, and why when it rains, it's like it's not like sand that just drains.
Right.
It becomes
A big mud bowl.
super mucky.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
sounds so fun, doesn't it?
I know. Like it just. I don't understand it. Anyways. Yeah. Radical self reliance is. It feels like there's better ways to get radical self reliance. But, anyways, I'm just. Obviously, I don't. You know, I'm not part of the scene because I haven't been there, so I just don't get it, as Andrew will constantly remind me. So,
Yeah.
and he's not wrong.
Well, I have to say I thoroughly enjoyed the one time I went there.
Okay. Oh, that's good. I took a bad entry, but a little bit of risky entry here on NVIDIA, looking to see if we can get a pull down. I'd really like to get a move. I again aggressively have put my stop at break even. Just it might just stop me right out, but if it does, then so be it. Let's see if we can get a move here at no risk.
Here is a picture
There we go. It stopped me out.
of me riding
Oh,
around on the playa.
well, let's see if
So
I can. Let's see,
you can
Brian.
see the
Show,
outfit.
show that again. We can see it. We can see it in big form. There we go. All right. There he is with his dust mask
Yep,
on.
there I am in my gear for riding.
Okay. Well, so guys, I got out of that trade at break even. See, this is why when I don't have a great entry, I'll get out and I might try again. But
Yeah,
I
it just
love my.
seems like there seems to be a buyer. There just seems to be a buyer on these Nvidia pullbacks.
Mhm.
And that big order at 180 is still sitting there. Looks like Mad Max. Yeah.
All right.
Here, I'll can show some more pictures. I'll put up.
Wow. Thank you, Anonymous. $50 donation. That's fantastic to the Kids Cancer Foundation. That's awesome. Appreciate it.
Here, I'll show you some more pictures. Here's a picture of one of the
Oh,
installations that's
that's
out
good,
on
Brian.
the
A little higher so you can.
out
Okay,
on
there you go.
the
Oh, wow. What is that?
yeah.
That's like a.
It's one of the
They built a whole
it's one of the
castle?
things they built a whole castle, and I'll
Wow.
show you what how it can change. And
Oh,
then it became this in about
we got some
10
glare here.
seconds.
Oh, I
Yeah,
see. Oh,
it
so
became
like.
that in about 10 seconds. So these little dust storms constantly blowing up.
Right.
But I'm making it sound all that, it doesn't sound great, but it's tolerable.
It's
So like I
tolerable.
said, it's not the kind of vacation you go to Hawaii or Bali. It's definitely a different experience. Yeah, this is just it's really painful. Just there's just nothing going on. Roblox actually had a nice move back up, but if you look at the queues and the SPY, I mean, we have SPY's done literally nothing pretty much all morning, just sort of chopping in a very narrow range. The queues are trying to go green, but haven't been able to manage to stay green. LTR actually might be looking to break out here. But Nvidia occasionally just keeps getting some buyers. So here we go.
It does.
More
It
buyers
does.
coming in.
Yep, it's popping up here again. What the heck?
Every time it gets up around that 179.50, there's a seller there.
Wow. Hey, the dealership actually got the parts for my car. Apparently, they're going to maybe put my engine back
Oh,
together.
that's been a long time.
Yes, it has. 2 months. Been over 2 months now.
Uh, yeah, it's did they had to ship them from Germany?
Yes. Apparently, they had to have somebody hand make them or something. I don't know why it took so long, but yeah.
The little Keebler elves.
Yeah, I guess so. Had to, I don't know.
Yeah, Tesla's really been doing nothing for the last hour. There's another push on Nvidia.
Yeah.
Again, this seller just
Yeah. A little more
front
aggressive
running
push.
this 180, but it's still moving here.
Yep.
Oh, here we go. Maybe it's going to move now.
Yeah. Feeling pretty bright having got out of that short exactly as I did because clearly it's not short. Didn't go long, but you know.
Hmm.
There we go. 179.80. Tesla's really caught in a range here over the last half hour, isn't it? Wow. So Andrew's
Hello?
Andrew's Burning Man, tent. What do they call it? Pancake something, right? EDM pancake.
Yes,
So they have EDM
pancakes
music.
and champagne or something.
So how do you serve that without making it all gritty, or are the pancakes gritty?
Uh, well, it depends. I mean, it's not always dusty. I mean, I think quite
Okay.
often it's. I mean, I just showed you something that was a little extreme, but
Right.
not quite often it's not. And it gets a little. It's. I think during the dust mostly happens during the day. The sort of blowing around dust.
Right.
It's probably partially thermal. The winds are maybe partially thermally driven.
Okay.
So it's not always dusty. I don't want to leave people with the impression you're living in a dust bowl. Here's oh, here we go. We're getting to 180.
Yeah, we're getting close now. All right, come on. Are we going to be able to crack 180? The orders are still there. What's on the other side of 180 here? Not much. Well, let's see what we get.
Rejection. Yeah,
Yeah.
now that I think of it, when you ride around during the day, you always carry this. You always have your mask and goggles handy, but at night it's not. I don't remember ever being dusty at night,
Okay. Oh,
and quite
maybe
often
it's the.
a lot of people go out at night. So
It is the. Maybe it's just the heat, the heat of the day that
yeah, I think it
causes
is. It's yeah,
swirling wind patterns or something.
yeah, the heat creating thermals and rising air, and then air comes blowing in to replace that air.
Mm. But it is hot, right? Like it's.
Yeah. Well, yep, it definitely can be up 80, 90, 95. Yep, for sure.
Okay.
But it can get pretty cool at night. It's a typical desert. I mean, people don't realize how cold the desert can get at night.
Right.
Um, so it can get pretty chilly. It can get a little chilly at night.
Uh, Well, I hope Andrew enjoys his
Yeah, the
experience.
market
Whatever.
just we had that big rally on Friday. Um,
Yes.
some some sectors really moved quite nicely. Of course, we had the anything sort of interest rate sensitive, like real estate, financials, small caps, all rallied pretty hard. Tech was really one of the ones. Tech and communication services really did not perform as well. during the week. So if you caught my analysis, my swing trade video that I posted on the weekend, sort of broke some of that price action down.
Right.
But it was yeah, it was kind of interesting how we've been seeing this sort of rotation out of some of these high flying tech trades, and you just have to look at a stock like PLTR, the daily of that, and some of the other ones like CoreWeave, which have been the ones that everybody's piled into, just have been taking a bit of a breather here. So, and of course, we do have Nvidia, which is probably the premier AI and technology stock. We have their earnings coming out on Wednesday after the close with cloud and snow. So that should be sort of interesting because a lot of these stocks have run up on this AI promise.
Right. Yeah.
Funny, Peter, I was reading I was reading your is it your cousin Brent?
Yep. His daily
Yeah, so I was
newsletter.
reading his yes, I was reading his newsletter. He had some links to a couple of different articles. There was one from MIT
Yep.
that where they had been studying all these companies that had adopted AI,
Okay.
and almost none of them, a few, but very few of them actually said that they had seen any impact to their bottom line yet, their P&L on thanks due to their adoption of AI. So AI has yet to, according to this study, has yet to actually prove that it
Right.
can actually improve a company's profits or reduce their losses or whatever.
Right.
But it is early on, and people are still trying to figure out how to use it.
Yeah, that's true. And it's one of those things like a lot of automation where there's usually a lot of upfront costs and then the savings are over time, right?
Yes.
So yeah, it's maybe a little unfair to measure it too early in the process.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's interesting because, yeah, as you say, there's
Yeah.
a ton of promise out there about what AI can do, but we've yet to realize it. Nvidia popping
And
back up
and
here.
obviously there'll be winners and losers if you think of if you go back in time and think of the the previous sea change that happened to society, and that was probably the introduction of the internet.
Yeah,
Um, I still remember going, signing up and going to a course that explained how the internet worked because it was like, wow, what is this internet thing? Better take a course and find out.
I,
And
actually, it's a good point and a good analogy because yeah, I remember that time too when you had the adoption of the internet, and it actually drove significantly more costs in the short term because companies said,
yes,
well, now not only do I have to maintain my sales staff and my store and all that other stuff, now I've got to hire people to set up an internet site and try and sell things through that and figure it. But remember, we called it e-commerce at the time, and how to set up an e-commerce
yes,
site and all that stuff. So like, I had all these, as a business, you suddenly had all these extra costs that you're figuring out how to manage. Now, as we now know, like if you want to survive long term, you absolutely need a web presence, and it can drive cheaper sales. I mean, heck, Amazon's entire business is is online. So, but yeah, it wasn't like an immediate, internet came, revolutionized everything. Like there was a switchover or a changeover period. That's a good analogy. I hadn't
right.
thought about it in those terms, Brian, but yeah, I like it.
Well, and it's kind of interesting too because as there, as with any sort of initiative or venture or whatever, there's winners and losers, and it takes a lot of time to figure out who is the who's
Who's
going
who?
to who's going to triumph and who's going to fail. And if
Yeah.
you, I don't know if you probably got that AOL disc in the mail, sign up.
Oh yeah.
Get,
Way back
and
when.
where is
You
AOL
bet.
today?
That's
Does
true.
AOL even exist?
I don't. I don't know.
I remember the 56 like the 56K modem sound was like psh,
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yep. Yeah. Yeah, and then you had to run it off your phone line, and then someone in the house would go pick up the phone to make a call. How
and
much
then
is
kill your
that?
internet connection.
Yeah. Get
Pick
off
Anyway,
up
the
the phone and
phone.
you're
we're
like,
dating ourselves here,
ah,
guys.
ah, my ear.
I know. I know.
We're dating ourselves.
That's all right.
All
I was
right.
there, man.
Well, I am.
I made it through that.
Well, I'm glad you're here, Thor. Look at
I
this.
am here.
Yeah.
We got both of you guys in here
You,
because now
you get.
I could take a break. I've been talking nonstop here. So, but anyways, thank you everybody for
All right.
putting up with me. As again, I'm sidekickless. Hopefully, I've got somebody with me tomorrow.
We're
But
so
I'll
old.
still be here in the background. Thor, have you got a special guest coming in today, or is it all Thor all
I
day?
got my buddy Nathan's gonna come in today. We're talking a little
Okay.
book map and spot gamma today. I'm having fun. We do have a bit of an announcement of a special guest we're just booking, and we're gonna hopefully have on in a couple of weeks. We actually have Alpha Mind Stephen Goldstein's gonna be coming on with us in this segment
Okay.
in a
Sweet.
couple of weeks. So it should
Cool.
be a really good one. So just a little sweetener out there for everybody. But yeah, maybe Peter, depending on my day tomorrow, maybe I could come hang out with you if no one else
Uh,
does. Let me know.
You're always welcome. Just pop in
I could
whenever
come.
you
Yeah.
want. I'll
Yeah.
be here. You know where I'll be. So
You know how to find me, right?
exactly. So,
Hey,
Cool.
there goes Nvidia through. Nvidia broke through 180 while we were just Thor
yeah.
showed up. He was just his presence pushed it
Just
through
my
there.
mere
So,
presence just made
There you
NVIDIA
go.
go. I'm still
all
holding
right.
my stinking Tesla along,
I
Brian, and
see that.
it
It's been
still
moving
hasn't hit its target.
sideways.
Mm.
It's really been moving
World's
sideways
Yeah,
on
I
me.
cut
most
that one.
annoying
I
consolidation.
cut that loose,
Yeah, you were
but
smart.
yeah, it worked out. Yeah.
I got so close,
All
but
right.
so far.
Yeah.
Cool.
Almost got to your target.
Yeah. I'm still holding out I don't know, whatever I'm holding out on. It's something. We're holding it. So, whatever. We'll see what happens.
All right. Nathan, Thor, enjoy the rest of the show. Everyone out there, don't forget the thumbs up and like. And if you can donate to our charity, that would be a great thing as well. Anonymous had donated a couple of times, a couple different people, I assume, because we had a $50 donation. I think I saw a $20 donation as well. So, like, it doesn't matter. $5, $10, whatever you can donate, it's great. So, take care, everybody. Have a wonderful day. We'll talk to you again. I'll talk to you tomorrow morning. Stay tuned.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Peter. And everyone out there, yeah, absolutely. Make sure you're liking, subscribe. We're getting this thing started, so everyone has their own little roles to play here. My role is to bring you the best content I can possibly come up with. Your role is to hit a button. So make sure you've hit that button, and that's all I'm asking. Now, if we do always have little drawings and things like that. So obviously, if you want priority for some of those stuff and some boosts, we have our garbage trucks and Lambos. We also have our, like as Peter mentioned, we have our in-house charity. So if those are things you're interested in participating in, please feel free to do so. And otherwise, we will get it rock and roll. Nathan, my man, buddy, good to see you. How are you? How was your morning? How was your weekend, David?
It's good, man. Weekend was good. I got to go ride, so I'm always happy
Nice.
when I get to go ride. How was
Very
yours?
nice. Good. I actually took my son to Magic Kingdom for the day and hung out in the old Magic Kingdom, and it was Halloween theme was already put up. So we got to go around
Oh,
and
I want to go to that.
oh, so cool, right? So it's the not so scary Halloween because it's Mickey and all that. So, but we got to go do the whole thing, and it was a lot of fun. Joey Gill wants to know, what do you ride? It's I know you have a pretty killer bike.
Yeah, it's a 2020 Specialized Enduro that I race. So it's like full on race bike. It's a mountain bike. So I do an enduro mountain bike racing. I got Thor. He said he's going to come out, and I'm going to teach him how to get on the mountain.
Dude,
Do some mountain
I
bike.
so want to do that. That video you sent me, I'm so in for that whole thing. That just looked awesome. So NVIDIA here, or Tesla here, is we basically rolled over right in front of a giant seller at 342. And so I am slightly concerned.
Yeah, Tesla's been a
Okay.
struggle today, man.
Yes. Hold on
Look
one
at that.
second. Someone
Yep.
was saying, let me hold on. I gotta do a little media here. One moment. Someone's messaging me. Peter needs to cut it, or you can kill it from the room side. I think we're still simulcasting into BBT. So they're like, they want me to shut up in there, but I won't because I don't even know I'm talking. And getting me to shut up in the first place is already hard enough to accomplish. So.
Looks like somebody did that. We're good.
Thank you. Anytime the voice from above, man, it's like crazy. Hey, Amanda, good to see you. So 2 sets of cam levels. It's just on DOS because DOS can't switch cams. So I just have them overlaid. So the one I was using, my calc's a little bit off from that one. But we hit right into the top of the box here and then signal. So I went along there and threw my stop below 335. So right now I'm aiming for, my target is just above high of day. So I really like how we stair-stepped down on, look at this light ghosted volume here. I like how we stair-stepped down into VWAP and now we're finding a buyer at VWAP. That's very nice. So ideally this candle will close engulfing. That was a kind of a not the world's greatest close, but that's okay. So hopefully we'll buy this candle, and if so, then we're finding VWAP also yesterday's close is right here, right? So really lovely spot. Should I cut my Apple short? I'm at break even and was hoping it would go back to VWAP. Let's look. You want to look at Apple, Nathan?
Yeah, that's okay. I'm going to talk about some spot gamma later.
Yeah.
I know people were interested in that. Not really as much as going on today. The whole spot gamma.
I like the idea in being short an Apple from here. I don't use VWAP. I just know where it's at, but because it's here on I can see it on my book map. So, but you're in a selling range on a wider, higher range. So the short technically is from R4. So, but I like this very large attempt to buy that resulted in an inverted hammer, and then we've struggled to move higher. So this does look like a good place to roll over. So not bad. Its order book is a little bullish still, but the VPA kind of fits a rollover here.
That volume on that lower high candle.
Yeah, look at that
short
hit.
body. That's actually some pretty nice VPA right there. That's the kind of stuff you want to see.
Yeah.
I think it may need a little bit more consolidation. You think maybe a retest back up into that area?
You could see down here, we were having a lot of trouble selling.
Oh, there we go.
So we must have a bid sitting right here. Like 228 and a quarter. Yeah, look at that. Wow. Boom.
Oh, look at that
Boom.
volume though. Holy crap. Look at that response. So that's why you would want that weak retest back up into this area.
Yeah, and that wasn't a weak retest.
Look at that volume.
That's a lot of volume.
It's not weak at all. And you got your indices are kind of working against you as well.
Yeah. Tesla's really struggling right now, and yeah, and stuff's starting to roll over, but I really like this Tesla trade. I really don't want to cut it. So I'm just going to leave it on. It's the only thing I got today. So if you look at my alerts right now, look at how many alerts I had today. Only 2. One on Tesla and one on AMD. But the new, I'm working on a new dev version of of these. Nathan, you want me to send you a copy of the dev version?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, I'll send it to you later. So I'm working with a dev version, so it's got more logic in it. So it calls plays. It doesn't call as many plays. It's a little bit pickier. We got rid of the eagerness setting, and I just came up with the default on the way it should be versus letting everybody mess around with it. There's just one setting, my setting. So we got rid of some stuff and cleaned up the indicator a little bit, and we've increased the logic. I think we've added like another like maybe 120 lines of logic into it or something like that for the play calling. And by we, I mean Bruz. So I didn't do anything. I just told him what I wanted. So. Oh, thank you for the share there, Team Bear Bull. Also, for anyone who is interested, I have written a book. It's called A Complete Day Trading System. Not to be confused with Trade Book, How to Build a Complete Day Trading System. That's Andrew's new book, and it's really good. You should check it out also. But after you do, grab mine. And then, his also is co-authored with Creda, which is pretty cool. Mine is co-authored by nobody but me. So that's not as cool. But Andrew wrote my foreword. That's kind of cool. So anyway, moving on. Woo, Tesla, don't be rude. So anyway, I might end up with a loser today. We'll see what happens.
Hey, everything. Like,
There's Andrew's book.
there's a video at R3 that it's not calling. Be interesting to see what happens there after this push.
What's your book's name, Thor? The link to mine's up just above. Tossic. It's so my book's title is Andrew's subtitle. So mine is just A Complete Day Trading System. So A Complete Day Trading System. Thank you, Brian. Me too. Just remember, like, so the thing that's fun, I mean, the thing that's important when you go to trading, everyone needs a system. And that's really why I do think all of that stuff is really, really important. You know what I mean? To have a system. So knowing how to build your own is really, really important. Right. But for me, that was like a major, major aspect. But even just having a trading system isn't enough if you can't execute it. You know what I mean? And I think, that's something that's really, really important. And Throne was just talking about, and this is something Nathan and I can probably talk about for about 10 minutes or so, I think. He was asking about what date was it when you went all over the diet and stuff on the old live stream. I don't know if I remember which one it is, but we can talk a little bit about that because I think that actually
it's just a couple weeks ago.
It was only a couple weeks ago. But I mean, I think it's really important to, I think that actually ties in a little bit to kind of what I'm saying here. Like I have a day trading system, that's true. But if I didn't execute it rigorously, it wouldn't work. Right. So anyone can build a day trading system. Not anyone can trade a day trading system. You have to actually be able to do it. Right. So, and those things start with very small. I don't know. Have you guys ever read like Atomic Habits? The book Atomic Habits. It's a really good one that I highly recommend. There's Jordan Peterson 10 Rules for Life. You know what I mean? There's a lot of these books out here, right? That talk about. There's a lot of these books out that talk about how you make big changes with a very, very small adjustment, right? So if you're trying to save the world, why don't you start by making your own bed, right? Or if if you want to become a really great trader or do these things, it's small, tiny habits that end up building into something, really,
the change
really
doesn't
good.
happen just over a day.
Exactly. And then so for me, Nathan, it was like the first place I actually started that change was in my physical self, right? So because I found I couldn't become the trader I wanted to be if I was not if I wasn't being the person that I needed to be in order to be that trader. You know what I mean? So it was like I couldn't just like be, slovenly all day, not really getting things done, overeating, just the excuses of why I can't do that thing, not enough time to go to all these different things, but at the same time, it's like now that I went through all of that, it's like now I have enough time to do all of those different things plus run every day. It's like, why do I have so much time? So, these little things like really helped a lot, but
Yeah, I mean, just start and be happy with changing one thing. Like, I hate making the bed. If I wanted to start it, I just start making the bed, just doing it, making it a pattern. I'd be excited about that, and then I'd add something else. I mean, that's how you build discipline on discipline on discipline. Make it a routine.
it's awesome.
Especially when it comes to diet. It's not easy. You don't need to change everything in your diet overnight. Just start with one thing.
It's funny because the diet, it's kind of like trading in a weird way. It is really easy. It's just doing it's really hard, right? Like all you got to do really is like not eat. And I know a lot of people say, "Oh man, it's so hard." Well, it's true, it's hard, but it's a very simple action that is just very difficult to perform, right? Like not bag holding, right? Not bag holding is a very easy thing to do, yet so many of us do it all the time, right? Because the concept itself very easy, right? But yet the application is very difficult. The acceptance of it. I actually heard Dr. V was saying this on one of the sessions she did. And what do you think about this, Nathan? I thought it was pretty insightful that when you take the stop, it makes the loss real. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't
Yeah.
like
Oh, I
even though
agree,
you'd
yeah.
already moved past the stop, it just wasn't a stop yet because you hadn't taken it off yet. Like somehow you're okay.
Well, it's also that comes into hope. The hope is still there. If you haven't stopped out yet, you can still hope. Hope. It is. It's not real. You haven't really taken it, but you're still just kind of depending on hope to get you through.
Exactly. Just start Ian. So Ian, 100%. Now we're talking about this while you guys see I'm holding a long in Tesla right now that I've been holding since S3. So come on, people. We can do this. God, did you say Tesla's going up?
Yeah, he said he's buying Tesla right now. That's what God just said.
Oh, that's excellent. So now you guys know why I don't stop out of my positions, why I just use my brackets, right? So this is one of those ones, this sell right here looked very, very scary, right? Big sell candles. In hindsight, you can see it actually wasn't that strong, right? And then we consolidated for a while, and now we're moving up, but we don't really have like we bought here. So someone was asking what I saw. So this is a textbook S3 to R3 play out of my book. So I'm gonna literally like give me 1 second. I'm gonna hit you with this one. S3 to R3 traverse, inside day, bullish squeeze. On an inside day, you will have a wide central pivot relationship. Because of this, you are going to be looking to traverse the inside range. As an aside, it's called an inside range because you are trading. Oh, I should use book voice. Remember, with pivots, you are looking for an extreme, and so trading at value will not do so. You need the stock you are monitoring to sell down to an area where it is at value to buy, and then play the move back into hopefully through the central pivot range. In most instances, a stock in this situation will be opening somewhere in the value range between S2 and R2. Your task is to allow the stock to open, and then, depending on its movement, perhaps take a trade. Again, patience is key. If it is trading above S3, then you will need a test of S3 to go long, right? And then it has the conditions: bullish relationship, wide pivot range, price opening above S4, and a diagram of what you are looking for. Look at that. Boink.
You should have done the audio for your book. But it should
So,
also be in your task if you choose to accept it. You
Your
Possible.
task, should you choose to accept it, is to buy Tesla and
This
hold.
book will blow up in exactly 30 seconds.
This ebook will self-destruct. I know, I do not have a good a lower announcer voice. I'm more like one of those radio guys from the 50s. You know, Auto Brand Spark Plugs. Welcome to Auto Brand Spark Plugs. Spark plugs that'll make your car work all day long. Auto Brand.
You could do the Casey Kasem in the top 40 list.
Yeah. Everybody coming out for the top 40. Yeah, let's go.
See?
Everybody to the top 40. A bit of a Mater thing. Tim Norris, the I am country. For the record, Mater is not country. He is a false. He is a fake. Larry the Cable Guy is not country. I think he grew up in like a city or something. It's all an act. He doesn't even have a country accent.
Well, Jeff Foxworthy, that's a good one if you want.
Jeff Foxworthy lives next door to where I grew up. He's about as country as it gets.
Yeah.
If your bathtub and your bird bath are the same bath, you might be a redneck.
That was great when it first came out. Now I'm aging myself. That was great stuff.
Yeah, he's from Nebraska.
I thought he was from Georgia.
No, not
Larry the
Foxworthy. Cable guy.
I call that the North.
Nice, Nav. Green Day, good for you, buddy.
Nice job.
You might. What about that account from last week? Are you going to do it? Oh, I forgot, Mickey. Shoot. Yeah, I want to. I just didn't do it. I forgot. Let me get it set up though. I will. Just keep. I want to do Nathan. I want to do a house account. So I'm gonna set up.
I remember it from last week.
I completely forgot. Oh, let's go. Oh, come on. Go get that thing. Yeah.
God was right. That voice of God was.
There we go.
Was right.
Woohoo.
Thanks, Peter.
1K in the bank. Let's go.
Did you hit target? Or are you still waiting to?
Yeah, I hit it. I just hit my target on Tesla. 250 risk at the new low. Look at that. Just hold them, baby. You don't need a partial. You didn't do all that weird stuff. All you gotta do is just get in and just wait for a while. But that's what makes this hard, right? This is like intermittent fasting or losing weight, right? The concept of holding this trade is so easy, right? All you have to do is nothing. Oh my God. You want me to do nothing? Oh, it's so hard. It is so hard to do nothing, people. It has taken me years to learn how to do nothing. Like, just get in and stop touching it. We're still talking about stocks. Okay, moving forward. But yeah, it's tough to do, but it's kind of like the whole weight loss thing or like going into anything. A lot of these concepts are actually really simple, but just doing them is really hard. Changing habits is really hard. Even when it benefits you, it's really hard. You know what I mean? What did Guy say? Do you just sell at the end of the day, or do you or don't hit profit out loss? If I get to the end, I will close. I don't swing trade at all. So if it's not at target, no matter where it is, if before the close, I will kill the position. I have an alarm that actually goes off on my phone every single day, right at 4:30 or right at 3:50. It lets me know when the MOC is starting, basically. Why did I not sell Tesla at R3? It has not gotten to R3 yet. R3 is way up here.
It's headed to it.
Like way. This is one of the reasons why I was okay with holding this position. Right? Because R3 is way up here. I went for 4R, Richie. profit target. So I use static profit targets. That's also detailed in my book, The 4-to-1. A complete day trading system. My entry was S3 right here. It was definitely S3. You can see it here. You can see it here. So there's a range, right? So as long as it's in the buying range, I can buy. Right? So it threw the VPA signal and went into the range, right? And then came up and I bought and I threw my stop below here. If it had come down and stopped me out, I would have let it get lower and then did it again. But since this was a higher, wider range, I wanted to buy S3. As soon as it got into it, I started trying to grab it. I don't always get these on the first try, right? Sometimes I hit it like this one on the first time. Sometimes it takes me two. But, I'm getting pretty good at the first. I have to, whatever. But I called this bounce in the chat room in BBT. Brian even took it. The Prophet of Profit even took this one. But I called this out. Like, I think half the BBT chat room. Because I traded live at the open today because Andrew's getting his Burning Man on.
Is he there already?
Oh, yeah. Oh,
I heard
yeah.
he was trying to buy like some vehicle.
I'm a little upset. They call their like little like tent like discotheque or something, and I really think they should call it I think they should call it garbage trucks and Lambos. Like I really think that the tent should be just called garbage trucks and Lambos. Like that should be the Burning Man tent. But whatever. So hold on. HA means higher range, play A. So my pivot system roughly breaks down into this. So this is basically what my book details out. This is my pivot system. So as you learn to trade through my pivot system and all these things, this is more or less what it ends up being. So an HA is a higher range play A. Because remember, this is a system, right? I have plays for every market condition other than crappy, right? Like, you can't do anything with that. But that's why we stop trading when we start losing. But you know what I mean? So this is a higher range play A, which is the S3. So I want to open in the mid range, sell down to S3. I'm going to buy it at S3 and play it across to R3 or target. A complete day trading system. So that's what happened here on Tesla. So you can see here, Tesla came down, started with a rally, but sold down. And see how when we dropped, see how our volume was really dropping? And then we had this big sell, whap. And then we bought off of it and made that new high. I went high there, long there, stop right below 335. No need to get any tighter. And that put my 4-to-1 way up here. I mean, it's a pretty decent hold. I mean, our ATR was $12.78. So ATR high calculates at 378.81, right? So, I mean, I got almost 3/4 of today's entire move on Tesla with one in and one out. You know what I mean? So, I mean, it's maximum value. I risked $250 and I got $1,000. You know what I mean? It's not much more I would want to ever, I mean, it's spectacular, right? So it's what more do you need? Yep, Tesla's it's right here, a little lower on S3. So, but it got close enough for me. We also had monthly R4 right at that level too. So it was highly correlated bounce location. So, ooh, I don't know if I've ever looked at QBTS. What do you think, Nathan? QBTS.
I don't. I've never looked at that. D-Wave Quantum Inc.
Yeah, that's the NYSE listed.
Which means it doesn't move very well.
PDC is the central pivot, Mohammed. So ideally what I want it to do is I want to open under within the central pivot to the underside, and I want it to draw down and then rally. So, but ideally I want it to actually open below the CP because that means we can close the gap to PDC after we buy, which I really like.
Getting some buying exhaustion here.
I'm hoping I'm testing it for a few more days. So hopefully maybe by the end of the week, if not next week, because my developer is on vacation this week. So I don't want to push it and then find out there's an issue and not be able to have him correct it. And I would never bother him on vacation. So I'm gonna wait until he's back before I push it, just to make sure. So QBTS for me, now that I've just kind of given it a quick glance, um, I really don't care for it as a play, one way or the other. So right now we are in a higher, wider range, and that buy should have happened here at S3, but we liquidated right through it and then sold all the way into the basement. So this will most likely end up being a short at some point in time. We will likely play back towards 2 days ago's close, but this is a buying range, right? So it's very important to understand that, right? When you're trading buying ranges, what that means is you're going to have elevator up, stair step down, right? So you're going to have, so if you try and short, you can expect very long, prolonged movements to the downside, even if it does become a short, right? It's just going to be a really, really horrible one. So I wouldn't really recommend QBTS. I would say it's probably a better ticker just to stay off of now. Look at frickin' Tesla go. It's so funny how this thing like makes you wait, you know what I mean? And then like all day, and then I at least it was nice for it to wait for me to get on YouTube. I'm gonna screenshot this one real quick. Let's see if we put it right here.
That's it's pushing the market along a good video.
It's a good one. Oh, hey, guess what? Percival was right too. Look, I longed something, everybody. Can I get some thumbs up for actually taking a long? You guys don't understand how rare it is for me to actually long something. I don't feel like you guys appropriately understand what this does to my personal psychology
You
as
need
as a perma bear. Tim's right. As a perma bear, it hurts my feelings. The indicator's showing Tuesday's news because Monday's news has already passed. So there's no it's showing forward to the next notable news event. So right now there's no news today, so it's pushing forward. If there was no news for the rest of the week, it would just disappear and you'd see it not even on your screen. The VPA on ES is pretty nice, actually. It looked like it was a rally. We were in a buying range above S3. It just, I found that anytime we tried to sell on high volume, we would get stuffed. So it looked like it was going to squeeze, and it did, but I didn't see enough buying, and we didn't get deep enough into the level for me to play with it. So that's why I ended up having to look for equity tickers, because and I only had 2 alerts today. So I got alert on AMD and an alert on Tesla. So I played Tesla because it was the only call out I had all morning. So it fit.
Yeah, there's just not much going on right now.
Oh, did I accidentally close the chart? I think I accidentally closed the. Oh, I put it over here. Haha. Just kidding. So I use TradingView for my alerts, and my alerts are actually, so one of the things that's coming out on the new development version that I'm running on right now is we've greatly increased the logic for the like I think there's like maybe like another 50 lines to maybe even 100 lines worth of logic added into the play calling code. So we're getting pretty dense on some of this stuff. So like for instance, because of that, today in the dev version we only had 2 calls. One was Tesla and one was AMD. I didn't even look at AMD. Let's see what it did. Yeah, see AMD actually, let me see. This opened in the wrong place for this call. So I actually traded the only call that was good. It tried to call a counter trending breakdown even though we opened in the wrong place. Okay. 1 second. Okay. Notes added. Is there a way outside of Bookmap to try and determine if the move is going to complete? So I don't even think, Mohammed, with Bookmap, you know that. I didn't know if Tesla was gonna make it or not, right? It's one of the things that's really difficult in stock trading is what you're asking right there. Is there a way? No, there's not. There's no way of ever knowing what's going to happen in the stock market, right? If anyone tells you that they know what's going to happen, they're being fairly disingenuous. Now, on Tesla, right now, all indicators would point towards it going up. So if I was going to take a bet on this thing, I'd be long. But after that, I have no idea what's going to happen, right? A large seller could come in and hit Tesla right now. And because the order book is so lean to the downside, right, it would be a massive sell candle if enough volume hit it, right? So, but right now, the order book is so lean to the downside, it really doesn't look like anyone's trying to buy lower. And if we're not buying lower, they're not going to cycle the price lower, at least not yet. You can see at 341, 340, and 339, we're starting to change or on Tesla. Now, this is why I got long in Tesla, right? So look, let me show you this here. Let me pause and let's talk a little bit about Bookmap here and maybe a little spot because we got Nathan here. So check this out, Nathan. Look at this, what I spotted here. So as Tesla was starting to sell down into the order book that was actually quite bearish at the time, right? I noticed that we started bringing in new sellers to the top side.
What do you want to see?
Right.
Right with that absorption, that buyer comes in.
So as we were absorbing on this big order to the downside, right above this large wall at 335, right, I saw them start to bring in new sellers to the top side, right? So since we had the absorption, this would indicate that the algorithm had decided to absorb that price, or basically the algorithm bought instead of letting it go to the buyer. And now the algorithm ran the price back up to this seller, right? Because they're going to have to buy all the way up here. So they want a nice big low average so they can buy. And then once they get above, they'll bring in the sellers and come back down the sellers and then hit this 335. But since I saw that structure shift there, that's really what gave me the idea. And like right now, we're so bullish. I mean, it's just like
they're tag on Tesla.
So that Tesla was an A+. I was really happy with that one today. And the only legit play I really got today. So actually picked the right one. Haha. Here we go. So look at how we're starting to find look how we're starting to hit volume now. We're coming into R3. We shouldn't go much higher than this on Tesla. Now, I am not saying Tesla is going to reverse, by the way. We do not have the order book for a reversal. So right now we are going to pop up here and probably get stuck. Right? So unless you see more orders come into the downside, I would not reverse this thing.
And a big reaction, some absorption, a big reaction.
Yeah, like a big sell, like an engulfing sell, really big volume, and then watch for a reoffer. And if that reoffer is really weak, you could hit the reoffer to play it back down. I know, I missed NQ.
Now, right now, you're just getting some profit taking.
It was so pretty. It didn't get low enough for me. Oh yeah, it did. What was I talking about? Look at it. Look at NQ today. It was a perfect S3 buy. Did you hit it, Syed? No, I'm out. I hit my target on Tesla. Tesla made the full R3 to S3, baby. Look at
Might be
that.
getting an iceberg here on Tesla, though, going into R3.
Oh, hold on one second. I'll be right back.
You guys hear me okay? I'm looking at Tesla right now. It looks like we may be getting into an iceberg in here. Right up leading into 346. But we're still very bullish. So we just need that volume to continue up into here. Let's see. So we're about to break this high a day. So if we break this high a day and you get a bunch of volume coming in, a good extension, the time in sales, that's for NQ, the time in sales starts to really come in and accelerate, that means we're still pretty bullish. Let's see if we can close back above this last bullish candle or bearish candle. May need to fade back into about 340, 350-ish. Find a buyer.
Yeah, all right, I'm back. I mean, we made it, huh? Tesla made it. Basically ran the entire run. So we just had this really large buy. What are you seeing out there on your side of things?
I'm wondering where Tesla's going to find this buyer again. I'm thinking around that 343, 50-ish area.
Let me try again.
Around 343. We had that flag right before 11:30 on the 1 minute. It was a really nice flag and break. Let's see if we find this buyer down here. Let's see. Okay, we got a nice pop there. Okay, do we have our buyer? We need to close over this 1142 candle. Let's see if we can engulf this. If we can engulf this, we can definitely press higher into that 346 area. That was a pretty good response right off that area. See if it comes back down and finds a buyer again. Anybody still in Tesla? $920 on Tesla? Is it a $920 on the 2-minute?
I mean, that's a pretty nice sell. I just wish that engulfing had more volume on it when it sold there. The order book, they are starting to tier some new orders into the downside though. But right now, this still, I don't know. This
But I
still
like
feels
how
like
they're
a,
stacking. I do
it
like how
still
they're
feels like a
stacking
buy to me.
into 343. We're getting a lot of activity on the bid.
I'd like to see it squeeze and reoffer our and because this is a higher wide range. So the short should not be at R3. And there really technically isn't a short at R3 once it's gone to S3. This should actually close high. We've also broken our IB high to the top side, which on Tesla means our chances of running back out the bottom are probably only about 13% at best. the chances we close on the high side of the chart today are probably running more in like the 80% category. So let's pull that actually for everybody, just so you don't think I'm making stuff up, because sometimes I do, and this isn't one of those moments.
It's getting a good response though, right off that area.
So let's do stock. We'll do Tesla. Right. And what we're going to run is we're going to run what's called the initial balance report. So right now, the initial balance report. Yeah, see. So the chances of us doing a double break on Tesla is like only like 13 or 14%. So that would be running from, if we create our opening range. So this is like our 1 hour. Let's say we open, we sell down and we found a low at S3. We then made a high. We then broke that high, right? This is basically what Tesla looks like today, right? So we're going to close this direction, right? Because of the break of the IB high. We're going to do that 3/4 of the time. So even if this is a setup right now, you have to kind of think you're trading against 3/4. You know what I mean? So it's one of those ones where I know sometimes we have a lot of trouble as traders, but it's not just about are you going to get a short here, but it's are you going to get a short that's actually going to go a long enough distance for you to make money on it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So if
This
you
would be
are
a
going to
fade.
fade it, exactly. If you're going to fade it, scalp it. Like don't go
Yep.
for a big move, hit it well, throw it above the top, go for 2 or 3 R at most and call it done. Because I wouldn't expect a large, long, if anything, I think this is actually going to keep going up.
Yeah, we're getting a good push now.
I actually think the market will close high.
Some spot gamma. We teased that.
Yeah, the market had a really positive. Let's do that. Let's
It's not really much.
If the Lord is available, could you please instantiate magically Nathan's screen upon our illustrious show? Wow, man, the Lord is fast. That was amazing.
Thank you, Lord Peter.
Thank you, all exalted, all knowing.
Honestly, not that much going on with other than we're just getting a lot of positive options activity it's corresponding with price going up, but it's really struggling and choppy. And a big part of that. So this is Trace from Spot Gamma. So what this shows here on the left are our GEX, our gamma exposure for our dealers. Not a lot of activity, not a lot of like large nodes that really stick out. And most of the day, which is shown in the price action of ES today, has just been nasty and choppy. And so we go back to 920 right before we open. And as we open, we still don't have a lot of exposure and activity going on. We've got a lot of liquidity up here around 65.05. But as this day continues on, you see how we're losing activity here and interest within this area as we chop around it more. We don't build, even building higher, these nodes coming in higher to the top side, that would attract price up there. And so really all we get is chopping because we're not getting any interest and we're not getting the liquidity that the dealers would like to see in order to move price up. You're going to see this line here. This is the option activity, the hero line for SPX. And we get a lot of positive options activity that does pull price up. But you see how we're losing our bars? We're not getting any interest within this price action to get price and lead price here. And especially when these start to fade in these areas, price should start to fade, but we're also not getting any interest lower. And we are in some buying pressure. You can see from the positive gamma here, the purple. And when we go to our gamma exposure that shows, so this would be positive gamma, which means as the market moves higher, dealers are going to hedge by selling. And if the market moves lower, dealers are going to hedge their options positions by buying. And so they're going to move against the market. So those days we get rangy market and crappy price action, which is what we're getting today. But we are slowly moving higher, and that does show within our delta exposure here. So the purple here shows that we're in a buying area. So we should be buying, but we're not getting any interest nearby. So price is just really having a hard time getting anywhere, because anytime we move up, the dealers sell. When we move up a little bit, they sell. So
Buying,
we're just
by the way.
chopping. Huh?
We
Oh,
just had a
sorry.
lot of buying hit the market right now.
Let's see where we are now. But I mean, this is just choppy waters. You know, we're moving downstream, but we're just really choppy waters and just really struggling because we can't get any interest in price, but our option activity is continuing to drive us higher. But yeah, so honestly, not that much to get into today as far as spot gamma goes, just because we don't have any interest in this area that we're in. So we need to get higher, and then we could start to see some interesting things happen. That
Yeah, we just
6,500 area, 6,480 would be an area I would look for some action to happen.
yeah,
But
absolutely.
today, sorry, there isn't much going on, and it's kind of sad.
Sad. I mean, look, I mean, we barely moved on the ES like all day. We're only sitting like a few handles above the open price.
Matthew, that bar up there at 6,500 kind of disappeared, didn't it? There was a big X bar if there, wasn't there? Yeah, this one right here. So that's our largest liquidity. This is very attractive. This looks like where they want to get up, but they don't have, like, we're looking for a trade with cans, to have the ladder. They don't have the ladder. So they're really just drifting and chopping higher, but they don't really have the ladder to try to move up to get to this area where we would have a lot of liquidity and a lot of interaction. Now it's starting to fade a little bit. We're getting some through here, but we would get into some selling pressure as we got into that area.
Tesla might leg up again.
Well, it's because God bought it.
I mean,
That's
God bought
gonna
it,
happen.
so you could
Peter
see we had
bought
this
all
really
the
nice
Tesla.
engulfing, big volume, and then another engulfing with big volume. So we're in the selling range now, and the ATR high is right here, but the short would be up at R4 if we were going to take it, but we came from too low. So it's just hard to think about taking a short on this one now. Unfortunately, we're going to have to Kevin O'Leary this one and say it's dead to us. Dead to me.
It's getting that. I mean, that was a good break, though, for that high, for that continuation. Nisha has got diamond hands on Tesla. They're holding it. So I was saying that's good. Just watch what happens. We'll close at new highs, and then now we're breaking high a day, and that volume's coming in. Came right into 346.
They're diamond hands long.
Yes, she said she was still in the trade.
Hell yeah. Baller.
Here we go. Let's see what happens. I wonder if we have time here to see if that algo hits, so we could show them live what happens when those cam algos hit. Because once you start seeing it, you really can't unsee it.
Oh, I know, right?
They're very distinct.
So right now, remember I kept saying the order book didn't look like it was going to sell off. And you see what I mean? It still maintains that. It's just, look at the density difference. The ladder to the top side looks so much prettier than to the downside. Very little structure to the downside. No interested buyers lower. Not that that can't change, but right now, everything indicator-wise. But now we're getting the NQ up into these higher ranges. We got this really big order block above us right now. So now we're right near R3. This is a better spot. Although I wouldn't take this trade at all. I still think maybe we go high. The order book's still bullish, and I would want to be at R4 if I was going to short. So this is still too low. Too high for a short, I mean. But if you can scalp, I mean, you could hit that low right there and just try and get it back at pre-market high or something. That could work.
I would still wait for it to get to R3 and maybe even a little bit higher.
Do you feel that gaps, Nathan, such as that made on Friday, and most stocks will retrace to fill the gaps? I actually can answer that.
Yeah, go ahead. You want to?
Nice gap. I
But
can answer
those
that
gaps are.
statistically.
Oh, you're going to do it with Edgeful. But yeah,
So,
those gaps become very attractive.
is there a particular ticker you're interested in, Gator? Or do you just want a random one? So we're as I wait for you, as we play gaps, right? The gap is the distance between the previous day's close and wherever we are opening. Right. So when we're looking for gappers, right, in the mornings, or Carlos especially is looking for gappers, right? What they're looking for are tickers that have a high, a larger than usual amount of distance away from their closing price after hours. Right. And then generically, what this lets you know is that there is some kind of interest in the ticker, because basically it didn't just sit overnight. Right. It's something happened to it either in the post market or the pre-market, and it sent it into some kind of movement. Right. But okay, so I'll go with Tesla. So in this instance, right, Tesla this morning opened with a gap down. Right. Gap when Tesla is gapped down, Tesla fills its, and this is for the let's do a longer 6 months. Right. So over the past 6 months, right, let's do a smaller setting actually. Let's just go with the past 1 month. What? Is that true? Wow. I didn't know how good my freaking trade was. No, look at the gap stat on Tesla. If it gaps down right now for the past month, it's 100% fill.
Oh, wow.
Is that no way?
That's
So if
pretty
this thing's
awesome.
opening gapped away from PDC to the downside right now, this thing is a nuts long, basically. But even look on the gap down right now. Let me add some extra data on this. This is just too fun. Let's just go 3 months. It's been 25 days into this month. Yeah, man, it is strong. Wow. Okay, so the gap stats on Tesla, people, are great, right? So right now. So think of, if we open gapped away from the price, we're going to fill that gap 80% of the time, Don. Right? Whether you're above it or below it over the past few months, but especially over the past 1 month, you're almost a balls like nail for off the bottom if you're gapped down. So like today, for instance, on Tesla, right? We started right near PDC. So this one, we opened and we immediately filled it. So that one today was kind of an easy stat. So, but I mean, if you were into it, literally you just came in here and hammered the open. I mean, there's a pretty good chance you're gonna get that move, a little scalp or something. But ooh, look at that. Okay, so we're still a little bull. We're actually looking a little bearish on Tesla now, near the price for
Yeah.
the first time, Nathan.
Let's see if it fills this 1 minute gap.
Look where the high is. I wouldn't take it. But again, just showing you the precision of the cam system. Look at where Tesla turned. Right? I wouldn't take it because I don't have an expectation for a big move. But I mean, that's a lovely spot for a fade. ATR high is right here. So you really don't expect to go much higher. It's on a higher, wider range. We already bought off S3. So R3 is the target. I mean, it's pretty sweet. Could you imagine R3? Look at that. Beautiful.
It still wasn't quite the cam reaction
Yeah.
I was hoping to see.
I still don't see a
needs,
big sell.
no. It needs to tag into it and maybe we'd see it. But yeah, we're gonna run out of time.
All right. Well, everybody, it is almost noon. So my man Nathan and I are going to pop out of here. I'll have him in on Friday as well. So maybe it'll be a little more active. We can bump into the book map and the spot a little bit more there when we've got some stuff happening. For me, we're still along on these. It still looks bullish. So I hope everyone has a great day. Any questions? Let us know. We'll see you tomorrow. So I hope you have a, Nathan, as always, my brother, thank you so much for coming by and hanging out with me this hour. And
Absolutely.
everyone in
Love
YouTube
it.
land, much love. We'll talk to you
See
soon.
you guys.